HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Celtics and New York Knicks had last night off, but they'll be back at it tonight at TD Garden for Game 2 of their second-round playoff series. The Knicks lead the best-of-7 1-0 Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Kristaps Porzingis is feeling better. He's been listed as probable for this game. Sam Hauser is doubtful with his sprained ankle. Last night, Indiana did it again, rallying from down 7 with less than a minute to go. They won in Cleveland 120-119 to take a 2-0 series lead. Tyrese Halliburton hit the game-winning 3 with 1.1 seconds left, and Donovan Mitchell scored 48 points in a loss. Cavaliers head coach Kenny Atkinson refuses to panic.
I've been down 2-0 before at home, and you know, we have enough talent. We have enough talent in there to go get, Game 3. That's it. That's all that counts. Not Game 4, not Game. We just got to focus on getting Game 3.
Out west, Golden State won Game 1 in Minnesota, 99-88. The Red Sox are now under 500 for the season after a 6-1 loss to Texas in the rain at Fenway Park. Lucas Giolito allowed all 6 runs and didn't make it out of the 4th inning in his second start of the season. This 3-game series continues tonight. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty won't run in the Preakness Stakes a week from Saturday. And at the NHL playoffs, Carolina beat the top-seeded Washington Capitals 2-1 in overtime in Game 1. And Edmonton scored 3 times in the third period to win a Game 1 in Las Vegas 4-2. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
When has that been necessary to fact check?
and Hardy
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
on 98.5.
Hey there.
Sarge GPT moving up.
Let me hear you say, boo, boo, boo.
Crush me, mommy.
Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the Pope.
I'm a goddamn drag!
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Nothing like a good tushy.
I love you. And I think you know that. Excuse me?
Toucher and Hardy
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back some fans and having some fun.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. You can watch the show live. You can watch it whenever you want, forever. Joe's on live. Felger and Maz, Zolak and Bertrand. Clips of all those shows are up there, along with all the writers and everything else around here. We're in the Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. Thank you. I forgot what your name was, gay guy, but thank you. I'm going to the dentist today. I was supposed to go yesterday. I forgot to cancel it because I had a plumber come in, so I didn't go to the dentist.
Because you wanted to stay home and watch him.
Because I didn't know the plumbers, and so I had to be at the home when he was there, and so I got a phone call. I forgot that I had canceled. It was at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I got a phone call from the dentist office, and it's a lady, and she goes, and I know who this lady is. She's old, and she goes, "You miss your appointment." And I go, "Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I missed my appointment." She goes, "Yeah, you missed it." And I go, "Okay, yeah, I apologize." And she goes, "You missed too many appointments," and hung up.
Oh. So this is not the first dental appointment you've missed.
Who knows? I spent, I spent, no joke, $20,000 at this dentist office over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get a fake tooth put in. I got Invisalign. I mean, who knows what's going on?
She's acting like your mother or grandmother.
Well, it would be like my great grandmother.
Okay.
So I call the dentist office back, and someone else answers, and I go, "Hey, you guys just called me. I missed an appointment. I said I was sorry. Oh yeah, I missed the appointment. I'm sorry." And the lady said, "You missed too many appointments and hang up. I'm just making sure I should get another dentist."
Oh, all right.
And because that's what it sounds like, right? You missed too many appointments. They're not rescheduling. They want you to get another dentist. I don't even know why I called back. I should just get another dentist. And in fact, I don't like that. I actually don't like the lady did that. And so maybe I'll go today because I made the appointment and I just will get it over with. But I'm going to tell them today I'm never going to come back. I'll tell you what the dental place is after today too. And then it's by where I live. And
is it a gentle dental where they give you all kinds of meds for cleaning?
No, but that was who my mom worked for, Dr. Joseph Nemeth. If you had a fear of dentists, he got that out of you.
They put you into Twilight just so they can do a quick floss?
Yep, he got you. Did I ever tell you about that? Yeah, my mom did marketing for this guy, Dr. Nemeth. He was the periodontist of the stars. You know, you had Aretha Franklin and Kid Rock and stuff in Detroit.
Wow.
And
you just named them both.
Yeah, exactly.
Jack White. Well, I don't think Jack White's ever been to the dentist. He's kind of got the little.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put Aretha Franklin and Kid Rock up against pretty much who's coming in that lives here.
Who isn't coming in?
No. Two non-sports celebrities that are going to come in Boston.
I'd be happy to share those with you. You want me to do it right now?
Yeah. Give me just two.
Well, why don't you finish what you were saying, and then I'll give you a couple. Because I don't want to interrupt you.
A few keystrokes required, maybe, to see who lives in the area.
Hands off.
And so
Ernie Bach Jr.
Okay, no. So I call. I go, hey. So you guys want me to get another dentist? They're like, what are you talking about? I go, well, the lady just called. The old lady just called me. She said that she's hung up on me and said that I missed the appointment. I go, I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry I missed the appointment.
Sure.
I'm sorry I missed the appointment. I forgot to call. You know what's funny is I called before I came to work thinking that they would have an answering service, but it's just an emergency line and they say call back during business hours. Well, I work during business hours, so I can't call you. I can't. I mean, I guess I could, but my mind's in other places, like doing the show, and getting uniform for my son, and things like
Where'd
that.
he leave his pants this time?
But no, they got mailed yesterday, the new pants.
Okay. And
just in time for the end of the season, to be over. So and then he goes, oh no, and I go, oh yeah. You guys called me. You told me I missed the appointment. I said I hung up. And then I said, I'm sorry. And then you hung up on me. You said I missed too many appointments and you hung up on me. And they're like, who called? I go, this old lady called me. I go, you know who it is. It's the old lady. It's the receptionist in the front, the old lady. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, no. No, we want you to come in tomorrow. Can you come in tomorrow at the same time? I said, yeah, but I want you to... But why are you calling me? Like, what is going on over there? I'm not even being combative. I'm doing it too much. I'm like, what's going on over there? Like, why did you guys call me and then hang up on me? Like, say I missed too many appointments and hung up on me. And she's deflecting. And I go, is the receptionist related to someone there? I'm dead serious.
No,
that's
the first thing I would have thought of if you're that defensive about something as innocuous.
And you're like super old and you shouldn't be doing the job and like they're just sitting you somewhere like to make sure. I said, is the receptionist related to any of the dentists? I go, she is, isn't she? And they're like, no, she's not related to any of the dentists. I go, okay. But again, why did that happen? And she goes, I don't know. But please, same hygienist, come in tomorrow at 11. So it was such an issue that I could come in today at the same time. But I think today is the last day.
That's bizarre.
So if you're a dentist and you would like $20,000 over the next 20 years, should I live that long? And I stay in Boston. I'm a free agent.
My buddy Michael's got a guy for you. I'll give you the information during the.
Where is this office? Is it in Woburn or some shenanigans?
No, it's in it says Brookline Dental Center.
I guarantee if 12 has a
Boston
suggestion, it's like the Tufts Dental School.
No,
where it's free.
It's
and
not my suggestion.
They
They helped my friend Michael. They rebuilt his mouth.
They need someone to train on, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I get my.
And you figure as they get older, the dental bills are only going to get higher and higher and higher.
So how will you handle this when you show up at the office and see this elderly woman?
I'm going to yell at her, John. No, I'm going to go. I'm not going to say anything to her.
You should fight her.
I probably should. I'd win. No, but when it comes time to settle up the bill, I'm going to go. This is my last appointment ever here. I go. Yesterday, you guys called. You said you missed your appointment. I missed you any appointments, and you hung up on me. I go, I spent $20,000 here over the last 20 years. I've been nothing but nice to you guys. Between getting the new tooth and the Invisalign in the last 5 years, I've probably been there 25 times.
Yeah.
30 times. I mean, how many times have I missed it? So say I've been there 30 times in the last 5 years. No, since COVID, say I've been there 5 times. 30 times since COVID. 30 times. Let's say you could start going back to the dentist end of 2021. In less time, less than 4 years, I've probably been there 30 times. Say I missed 3 appointments. Say I missed 1 out of 10 appointments. It's worth $20,000. Believe me. In my opinion, but maybe not in their opinion. So I'll just go somewhere else. This is like the dumb car place.
Do they give you the reminder call the day before?
No. They send you 7 texts. Listen, they reminded me. It's my fault that I missed it. If you want to turn it into my fault, it's my fault. I don't think that I should. Listen, they don't have to see me. Yeah. They can tell me to go screw. Yeah. And that's fine with me. If they told me to go screw, I don't even know if I'd be talking about this. I'd be joking about it more.
Right. But the fact that she said you missed too many appointments and hung up
makes me, because I almost didn't call him back because I just want to get this over with. So I called him back. Because I was started Googling other dentists, and I'm like, now I'm not going to be able to get a cleaning anytime soon because if I do this, they're going to have to transfer all this stuff. Now I get this cleaning. There's 6 months to get this information. But this is these are the only things now that really bother me in my own life that really just annoy me. They don't piss me off as much as they annoy me. It's like that dumb car place where I bought my car. They called and tried to make it right once they heard about it on the air, but it's ridiculous. I called and I'm like, what happened? I called and I said,
the way I remember it, that woman was outright combative.
No, she was screaming and yelling at me, and I can't even remember why she was so mad at me. I said something about getting service, and and I wasn't complaining about anything, and I hadn't missed anything. I was
You were trying to make an appointment.
I was trying to make an appointment for the car.
I remember this. Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to get a warranty. I was literally just trying to give them money. I was hey, da-da-da.
That was the call back after she hung up on you. I'm trying to give you money, and you won't.
I'm all I'm trying to do is give you money.
Yeah.
And then whoever from the place I bought my car, because I never gave the name of it out, and because I said on the air, I go, ingenious. So I bought all these Fords since I've lived here, and you figure with the service and everything, all I'm doing is buying your cars and getting service. Again, I didn't call that place. I didn't even do anything. I didn't miss an appointment. I wasn't complaining about anything. I was trying to book a service appointment. Yeah. I can't even remember. It was so ridiculous.
Was it the side view you were getting worked on or something? Was it a mirror? That like a housing for a mirror? Is that what it was?
Was it when I took my when I broke my side view mirror and then I ended up taking it somewhere else, and that's when I got that. They gave me that Maserati as the rental car. They were nice. And so then the place calls me, but it's some maniac calling me from there, and they're like, what happened? I'm like, well, I don't want to talk. Now I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to walk in there. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be awkward. But my thing is this, is that, look, if you're working at a place like this, if you're one of the people that work there, I get it. What do you care? So that's my point to you, is I don't begrudge you anything. if you're the combative one, because again, this was another old lady. Old ladies, but here's what my thing would be to if you own or manage a business. And I used to talk about this with Stephanie all the time because this was we would be booking things for the kids and stuff like this. How many times has like a receptionist been the difference between you continuing business or doing business with someone when they have no idea that that's going on? Like if I own the dealership and I go, I'm investing in salespeople and I'm investing in guys that can work on the cars. I'm investing in managers.
You've got a building. You've got a lease. You've got all this money going out the door. But it's all being pissed away because people are having a bad interaction with their first interaction with your business.
Exactly. So, like, maybe you think as a business owner, because I would, like, the least of my concerns is who's answering the phone. This is, like, the bottom of the totem pole. I got people to deal with that. Mm-hmm. But, like, you could be the greatest dentist in the world, but if you have some old lady screaming and yelling and hanging up on people, you're going to, I mean, that's 20 grand worth of business. And maybe it doesn't matter to them, but say that happens 4 times a year. $80,000 out. I mean, I think I'd like the $80,000.
Yeah, but if you are doing no-call, no-shows on your appointments and they're otherwise pretty booked up, then maybe they just don't want your business.
But they did want my business. If they didn't want my business, then they wouldn't have booked me today at the same time and deflected.
Nobody's in a situation. Nobody's in a position to turn any business down.
We are. We don't even have a receptionist at the sports hub.
We never
get away with one.
We never had one to start with.
We have a digital one. We have a computer on the wall.
Does that work?
No.
Okay.
No. Hell no. Does that work?
We have a reception area.
You're asking
I
that
don't
question.
understand.
Well, we had a receptionist
at
the old building.
Yeah.
David, rest in peace. David O'Coin.
Yep. Well, now you said his name.
What?
So no, but yeah, but that's the difference is the dentist. Listen, if they said, look, you've missed too many. If they said, look, I'm sorry. If they said you missed the appointment, you got to pay this penalty. Then I understand that. Or if they said, you know what, Fred, you missed too many. You've missed 5 appointments in the last 5 years. We're sorry. We're really booked up, we're sorry. You missed 5 appointments in the last 5 years. We're all you're not. I actually had a therapist in Atlanta that when my last time before I moved, when I saw him, he said, "You're a bad patient because you've missed so many appointments." And I said, you're scolding me the last day of therapy? Like, okay, wow, I'll really take this with me. So I told him to F off, and I walked out.
You are a bad patient.
I go, why? And he goes, yeah, you missed a lot of appointments. I go, yeah, this is my last one. He goes, yeah, I just want you to know that you were a bad patient. You missed too many things. And I go, well, you're a crappy therapist, F you. And I walked out. Huh. And I go, and look at me now. And I was right.
And you were cured.
And I was right. Yeah. And I was right. Look at my history since then. And so, seriously, he was bad.
He was a terrible therapist.
He was a terrible therapist. Look what happened since I moved to Boston.
Yeah, you went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, I mean, rehab and detox. I mean, these are two things that are not a sign of a good therapist. And so, but it's just that you missed too many. Like she was so aggravated as the receptionist. It was driving her crazy. She hung up on me.
Our buddy Don said the old lady just missed the hold button and disconnected you instead. And now that he's told on her, she's going to get canned and her cat is going to starve.
Well, that's a shame. That's a shame. I didn't tell on her. I said, well, I guess I can.
So now that you have to go in there today and you're going to see her and you're going to see the dentist and all this stuff, do you feel any awkwardness going into that situation today?
No. No, they should. I shouldn't feel awkward. All I did was miss it. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, Fred, not calling it. I mean, they're running a business. It's kind of a dick move. Like, what if 12 people were scheduled that day and they all pulled the Fred touch you? I mean, the dentist just sits there and does nothing.
Brian, I understand. And if they go, fine, we're charging you for this appointment, or we're charging you $50 for missing it. And then, or if they said, hey, you missed too many appointments, we can't see you anymore. That's fine. You're justifying calling me going, you missed today. Yeah, I'm sorry. You missed too many appointments and hanging up on me. You're saying that that's the way to do business. That's what you're saying, Brian? I've admitted to my mistake. I made the capital offense of missing the appointment. You are correct.
So you would be all right if they said, you know what, we're going to charge you $100 because you're not showing up. Because I think that you'd come on the air.
It's happened, Brian. It's the
$100. Can you believe me?
Shut up, you stupid idiot. Go to your dumb receptionist job.
Oh, he's in the receptionist union. You sniffed that one out.
Of course I've been charged there's a lot of businesses that charge you, a lot of doctor's offices that charge you.
And that's the thing. Wallach said, nobody can afford to do that anymore. Dentists and doctors.
Therapists can afford
whether
to do
they
that.
can afford it or not, they do it. The doctor I've been going to now for over 20 years told me straight up when I signed up. They said, look, he's taking new patients right now, and you have to know that he's always on time. And if you're late, he will drop you as a patient. And this is your only warning.
Okay, and that's fair. Of course when I've missed appointments, I've been charged the fee.
Really?
Of course I've been charged the fee before.
And you know what? It's great. You show up for a 2:00 appointment, and you are in and out of there. And
and that's another thing. At this dentist office, I've waited an hour.
Oh, of course.
Oh, have you really?
Yeah.
An hour?
Oh, absolutely,
an
hour.
Oh, my God.
Absolutely,
Get a new dentist.
Absolutely.
Holy crap.
100%. Look, I've paid fees for missing appointments. I'd like that. It's kind of a dick move to miss the appointment. Okay. Yeah. All right. It was very malicious of me to miss the appointment, to forget about it. I apologize to everyone. In fact, I apologize to them. Boy, oh boy, talk about it. Like you've never missed an appointment.
I haven't missed multiple appointments with the same people.
I was hypothesizing that maybe I'd missed that many appointments and my point was that if I've missed even 4 or 5 appointments out of all those appointments, it's $20,000. I've had I've had that tooth cost me $10,000, and the Invisalign cost me $6,000. So beyond all that, that's $16,000. Believe me, I'll miss an appointment. And if they don't want to see me anymore, they don't have to see me anymore. And that's why I called back. I'm like, should I get a new dentist? That's what I was saying. Should I get a new dentist? I legitimately, and if they said, yeah, you should get a new dentist, I would have said, all right, fine. And then I would have told the story like it was kind of funny that they told me to get a new dentist. I can't even keep a dentist. But the idea that I like that the communication and my point is this: take it or leave it. If you want to, if you don't want to take it, don't take it. If you look, I get it. If you're answering the phones, you don't care. I understand. I wouldn't either. But if I got a place, I've said this before. You got to be careful who's answering the phones, because that's the people that are dealing with your clientele. That's my only point. And if you don't want people that ever miss appointments, I understand. And that's your way of doing business, and that's fine with me. And, but I can assure you people are going to miss appointments. That I can assure you. People have busy lives, and it's very difficult sometimes to navigate everything. But if that's the way that you want to be, that is entirely your right.
Just give them a call.
I did, and they said that it was an emergency line only and to call during business hours. And then by that point, by after the show, I had forgotten, and it was too late. And again, I admitted my mistake when I called. I'm not leaving anything out of the conversation. I simply said, "Oh, I am so sorry. I missed the appointment."
I'm kind of with the old woman.
That's a shock. Just like you were with the Lyft driver who who threatened to beat me up in front of my kids.
That's 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Siding with the people who have problems with you.
That's right.
There's a pattern developing here.
Yes, that you are going to side with anyone regardless of circumstance.
No, but these two, check.
Yes, the Lyft driver that, because my kid farted, threatened to beat me up in front of my kids was well deserved. Yes.
And then
he was in the right.
Sped by your house,
and then drove back
like
and forth in front of my house.
Yeah,
that was well deserved.
Don't slam a man's door.
Very normal behavior.
That's right. In fact, if it was all on a camera and we would have fought, I mean, I'll tell you what. They would have said, listen, you shut the door too hard.
I can't get over the old elderly woman pretending that she's your mom and over the dinner table and hanging up on you.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like
weird.
the fourth time you haven't turned in your homework this semester.
I mean, I've been going to this dentist for 20 years. I don't know. What do you want out of me? All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, everybody. We are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Celtics and the Knicks will play their game 2 tonight. Now, the Celtics, as the 2 seed in the East, lost game number 1 at home to the Knicks, but this has been happening all over the NBA. Oklahoma City, they lost their game 1 against Denver. We also saw the Indiana Pacers take game 1 against the top seed in the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last night, they played game 2. The Pacers down 7 with a minute left.
4 seconds to go. Halliburton for 3. 3 ball up top. Indiana by 1. 1 and 1/10 seconds to go. Inbound. Merrill didn't get it off. And this rivals the Milwaukee finish.
You have got to be kidding me.
We're not kidding, and John and I were talking about this before the show. You go back for the last 1,000 playoff occurrences of this, where a team is down 7 with 7 or more with a minute left to play. I think 4 times the team has come back to win a playoff game. It's happened twice with the Pacers in the last week.
Yeah. Cleveland is in big trouble, not only because they're down 0-2, but because their offense is. I watched the second half of that game. Their offense is entirely Donovan Mitchell, and then maybe Strus, even though Strus tried a circus shot that killed him at the end of that game. Yep. I mean, Cleveland, I can't blame Donovan Mitchell for anything.
No, he scored 48 points last night.
And he
couldn't have done anything else.
And not only was he scoring, he wasn't being set up to score. He was just having to create. Like, he was the primary ball handler and was having to go to the basket and get beat up on every play. So not only is he, playing the entire game, he's also getting knocked around every single time he has the ball. Indiana's incredibly physical. And, in this playoff run, for the benefit of the NBA, they're letting things go a little bit. They tightened things up at the end of that game. It took forever. But, Cleveland can't win this series if that's going to be their entire offense. I mean, they just can't do it. They have one guy.
Yeah, this is where the depth of look at the Celtics. They have great depth. And Cleveland has been relatively healthy for most of the season. Evan Mobley, the defensive player of the year in the league this year, didn't play last night. He only missed a handful of games during the season. DeAndre Hunter, that great piece they got over in a trade from Atlanta, he only missed a couple of games since he got there. Not only is Cleveland lacking the depth they need, they don't know how to play without these other guys. And you saw it last night. You were right. Donovan Mitchell, I forget how many minutes he played last night. But
36.
Okay. Hard minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say 36 minutes, great, but I'm sure it felt to him like 50.
Well, they tried to take him out of the game, and then they would have to put him right back in. I mean, it's not even the minutes played. It's the stress of those minutes. I mean, he was getting knocked to the floor on every offensive possession. Because, Indiana was in the penalty probably like 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. So that was the offense for the Cavaliers. It was just driving to the basket and getting fouled. And then they made a bunch of horrible mistakes. Donovan Mitchell, when they were up, I guess, they were up probably at 5 at that point, or 2 or 4 at that point. He gets an offensive foul on an inbounds pass that they were going to call flagrant maybe on. There was a lot of bad mistakes.
And Darius Garland, their number 2 option, missed 6 or 7 games this season. The Celtics, you can say what you want about them resting guys left and right. They're able to kind of survive without some of these guys because they're used to it. And Cleveland has lost their number 2 guy. No one's really sure when Darius Garland's going to be back. Evan Mobley is another huge piece. And they're without all of these guys. They played without 3 guys last night. 3 of their top 8 were missing. And you could tell it wasn't the same team. Cleveland's in a lot of trouble. Indiana, by the way, again, shouldn't have won that game. But there's something about this team. They don't flinch. You know, they shouldn't have won game one either.
They flinch against the Celtics when it's the Celtics Pacers again, and it's another snooze fest in the Eastern Conference Finals. Boo. I mean, and then watch, Oklahoma City's going to lose their series, so it's going to be a big batch of diarrhea in the finals too.
You don't want Jokic in the final?
If it was Denver, I get. Yeah. If it was Denver, it would be interesting.
Denver'd be fine.
I mean, I suppose. Yeah, I guess anyone left in the West would be okay.
Yeah. Now
you have storylines left and right. If they play Golden State with the whole Kerr, Tatum, and Brown.
Well, if they
thing,
play Golden State and Golden State's made it through the West, I don't want to play Golden State.
Well, I guess what I'm saying, we're just talking.
No. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they play Golden State, and Golden State has, because we'll get to the game last night, but if Golden State makes it through for the play-in to the NBA Finals, then I don't want to play Golden State. That's Golden State. And if Golden State wins this series, we'll get into the game. But if they win this series, given what's happening, then I really don't want to play Golden State. Then I might not want to play Golden State over everyone.
Yeah.
Then that might, and I said that when they got, not when they made the Butler trade, but after they made the Butler trade and they went on that run.
Yeah.
Then you're thinking, because we've seen it. It comes down to Halliburton making that shot. It comes down to Brunson making that shots. The playoffs, we know how the playoffs go unless it's last year. The playoffs generally come down to, who's the most clutch in a lot of these situations, and the Warriors are the most clutch. They are going to be. Like, if the game's close, even against the Celtics, I'll take Butler and Curry over anybody.
If Curry's there.
Well, Curry, I would take it by the finals would be there. I mean, I don't think he's going to miss the rest of the playoffs.
Again, we'll get into it. But getting back to the original point, doesn't matter who comes out of the West.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. At least it won't be like a Dallas. So, but I'll tell you, this Eastern Conference could be a real snooze fest.
Cleveland's in trouble. Cleveland's
not a good team without last night. Cleveland wasn't a very good team. I mean, Aaron Nesmith looked like effing Scottie Pippen. He's leaping all over the place. He's going crazy.
It's true.
Who knew Nesmith was that athletic?
No, he wasn't like that here in Boston. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And as good as Donovan Mitchell was last night, the Cavaliers overall had trouble shooting threes last night. Mitchell was 1 of 7. Jerome 0 for 4. Dean Wade 1 for 4. So as we saw in the Celtics first game, the threes aren't dropping. It makes it very, very difficult, especially for a team like Cleveland's trying to figure out how to play offense when they're missing some of their guys.
And so much for home court. I mean, who wants home court anymore?
By the way, just to kind of underline Donovan Mitchell's performance last night, he made 1 3 and scored 48 points. That's insane.
Well, yeah, he stopped shooting threes.
But in today's NBA, to score 48 and make 1 3 is ridiculously hard.
No, I know. That's because how many free throws did he take? I mean,
21. I think it was 17 or 21.
But that was after a lot of contact.
No, he was getting knocked to the floor on it. And Indiana, to their credit, was extraordinarily physical, and they weren't afraid to get to be in the bonus. They weren't afraid of anything. They were going to knock him down every time he went to the rim. And he was exhausted at the end of the game. Absolutely exhausted.
There was another NBA game last night that we'll get to, and, of course, the Red Sox, which we'll mention.
Okay. We will have all of that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics host the Knicks in Game 2 of their best-of-7 second-round playoff series tonight. Knicks lead at 1-0. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at just after 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got some good news yesterday as well. Kristaps Porzingis is now probable. Sam Hauser is doubtful with a sprained ankle. Texas got 5 in the top of the 4th inning. They beat the Red Sox 6-1 at Fenway Park last night. Tanner Houck will try his luck with the Rangers tonight. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty won't run in the Preakness Stakes. And the New England Revolution visit Rhode Island FC tonight in the round of 32 in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. We'll have the match for you free of charge on our HD2 channel at 7:30. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit NewEnglandOilChange.com for 15% off your drive-through oil change at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. sports.
And I have had many offers to become an insider. Is this Justify My Love?
No, it's Security of the First World by Public Enemy.
It sounds a lot like Justify My
Slow
Love.
it down. Yeah, it might be.
Because I know Justify My Love because, oh boy, did I use that as a child.
That must be a top. That with like Divinals I Touch Myself must be like top 3, 2 of the top 3 for you.
It's funny because I watched the video for Divinals I Touched Myself, which I did use constantly. And they barely show her in that video. They shoot her at weird angles.
Yeah, they do.
Like, and they're all real fast cuts. So it's funny because looking back at how much I used that video for my own pleasure, there's really nothing to look at
A lot
there.
of it was your imagination. Here's Justify My Love. So I guess it is the same beat. She probably sampled it.
Is this Justify My Love?
Yeah.
You're not playing the other song under it? How about the ear on me?
Like that. Yeah, it's really impressive.
Thank you. That is
Your ear,
impressive.
my segue abilities, I mean, the sky's the limit, Fred.
I got that beat right off the top of my head because I had played with myself so many times in the video. It raised some inner thing in me, some inner spirit. All right, go ahead, Hardy.
All right, so there was one playoff series yet to be started before last night. And again, in all 3 game ones that happened beforehand, the lower seed ended up winning. Last night, the Golden State Warriors had a chance to begin their series as they were on the road as the 7 seed taking on the 6 seed Minnesota. So this wouldn't be a huge upset, and one could even expect them not to win with Steph Curry going out with strained hamstring after a half of basketball. Yet.
Big time for the guys. We want Steph back, I'll tell you that. It's hard playing without that man. But we got one on the road, came here, did what we had to do.
Oh, you did get one on the road, Jimmy Butler, thanks to your efforts and the efforts of this guy right here.
Crossover dribble, chest pass to Hield. He's open for 3. Bang! Buddy Love. Another big bucket for Buddy Love. And the Warriors back up by 12. He's got 24 points.
Did he call him Buddy Love?
He did.
What is that a thing that they do?
That's new
Golden?
to me.
I'm assuming that's what they do. I'm sure that's a cute little thing they do. What's Buddy Love from?
Isn't that a wrestler?
No, Buddy Love is from the Nutty Professor. That is Eddie Murphy's alter ego.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Because his name's Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Okay. Golden State Warriors.
You should just call him Buddy Hackett and start doing a bunch of his jokes.
Had Steph Curry for only 13 minutes last night, left with a hamstring, and then Buddy Hield stepped up, 24 points. Jimmy Butler added 20 of his own, and he played 41 minutes in the process. Golden State Warriors get the win 99-88 over Minnesota to take game 1.
By the way, watch out for Hield. He had 33 in that series clincher the last time out. He led the team in scoring last night, and he was toiling in relative anonymity in Indiana. He set the record for made threes in one season for the Pacers while he was there, and that's a franchise that had Reggie Miller on it. So he's forgotten on that team, but now that Curry is out, they think he's going to miss at least one game, maybe more, with a strained hamstring. So Hield has been huge for them.
Play the Buddy Hield clip real quick, that highlight, if you would.
All right.
Crossover dribble, chest pass to Hield. He's open for 3. Bang!
My wife said to me, I want to be cremated. I said, how about Tuesday? Play the Bloody Hield thing again, if you would.
From the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crossover dribble, chest pass to Hield. He's open for 3. Bang! Buddy Love.
Once when I was golfing in Georgia, I hooked the ball into the swamp. I went in after it and found an alligator wearing a shirt with a picture of a little golfer on it.
Henny Youngman?
No, he's Buddy Hackett.
Oh, Buddy Hackett. Buddy Hackett.
So every time he scores, you do a Buddy Hackett
Oh,
joke.
yeah.
All right, let's do one more.
Crossover dribble, chest pass to Hield. He's open for 3. Bang!
Golf is more fun than walking naked in a strange place, but not much.
Oh, buddy.
You got to like, and all of a sudden Hardy's going to go out and get the best of Buddy Hackett.
I opened for his son, Sandy Hackett, one night. And when I say opened, it was one of those nights where they wanted the host to go up there and do a couple minutes. It wasn't the full. I didn't have to do a full 5 like I did for Otto and George. They'd just go up there and warm them up a little bit for Sandy Hackett. And I went up there and told like a joke like that. And boy, did it bomb. And afterward, Sandy Hackett said something, like about how badly it bombed when he took on the stage. And I was walking off to the back of the room. I said, F you, really loud so that the crowd could hear it to him. And it was not funny, and he could tell I meant it. And afterward, he tried to talk me through how I could tell that joke better. And I didn't have the heart to explain to him. I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I'm not here to tell jokes. And I said F you so that the crowd could hear me say it, and that's what I wanted.
Right. Yeah, I wanted you to know that I did not appreciate you doing that. Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the Red Sox. Things did not look good early or ever.
Seager got everything started with a double. This one up the middle. That's a base hit.
Night moves got everything going.
What?
Said Seager got everything going. Hello.
He just turned 80 yesterday, Bob Seager.
Really came into his own with.
Wow, that makes me feel old. Considering he was 100 when I was 2.
Seager got everything started with a double. This one up the middle.
Double live album in which he played not only Night Moves but Fire Lake, which became a crowd favorite. It was really more of an artistic effort for him.
Well, that's a base hit. Another run is in. Langford with the RBI single. It's 6-0 Rangers.
All right. Would the Red Sox have any answer last night? Not really, but.
Going up the middle and through for a base hit. Bregman will score. And Campbell picks up his 13th RBI. Red Sox at last on the scoreboard. That makes it 6-1.
Hey, your cleanup hitter.
Hey.
You're Christian Campbell, your cleanup hitter right there.
6-1 the final last night there at Fenway Park against the Texas Rangers. Who was playing first base last night, John?
Abraham Toro was playing first base, Hardy.
Yeah, he's batting like 2 and change against lefties and righties. He's not real good.
No, he's not. He's a utility infielder that had a grand total of 90 career innings at first base in 6 years.
Yeah,
that's but he hits left-handed, so you could platoon him with Romy Gonzalez, who is also not a first baseman.
Why did they put Devers at first?
Excellent question.
Have they asked him?
No, actually, they refused to ask him.
Has he offered?
No, he has not. He is not, and they're asking Alex Cora pretty much every day now, why isn't Devers playing first base? Have you talked to Rafael Devers? And Cora defiantly is saying, no, I'm not going to talk to him about it, and no, he's not going to play first base. The reasoning for this? Not really sure. For any reason why you wouldn't at least ask him or have him take grounders at first base, since it is a massive hole in your organization.
Is he otherwise happy?
I'm not concerned. It's part of the season. Are we happy with what's going on? Of course not. We believe we're better. It hasn't happened, right? But, we're going to keep working. We're going to be better. We know that, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
By all means, don't take advantage of the weak schedule that has been placed before you. Make sure you play just under 500 ball before the schedule really gets tough.
And that's what that loss put him at last night. They're now 18-19.
Yep.
There you go. All right.
Rainy day at the park last night. Rainy day. Suck a night. All right. When we come back, Hardy gets many, many deals, and Adam is very, very cheap, and we will find out if Adam is interested in these deals that Hardy has been offered. It's live free or buy coming up in just a moment. Dutcher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Sub. Hardy, you are part of a community, aren't you?
I am. It's a website where people in all different towns and cities along this great commonwealth of ours can list items either for sale or for free. Most cases, there's just a little issue of coming to pick up the item, and there could be some assembly required, but I will give you a list. I have 10 different items here. John, Fred, you guys have to guess whether or not these are free or for sale in a game we like to call.
Oh, well, who's giving away crap in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood. In your neighborhood. Or who's trying to sell crap in your neighborhood? It's time for Live Free or Buy.
Live free or buy. Again, items for sale or they're being given away for free. We begin with item number 1. It's a back scratcher. Now, this back scratcher is photographed inside someone's automobile, so I can only imagine it was being used while the person drove, and you get an itchy back, and you
Or
just
it was
grab
used
that.
as an ice scraper or something.
You grab that back scratcher, and you just.
Now, does it look like a hand?
No, it does not. It's got little roller items down there on the handle, so you could flip it around and do like a massaging thing.
How is that a back scratcher?
Well, that's the scratching.
Back scratch,
That's the scratching part up there, and that's the roller part down there.
So it's a massage tool as well.
Yes.
So the rolling wouldn't be for scratching; it would be for massaging. And this is something that conceivably someone has used on their naked skin.
Yeah.
Where they could have infectious disease and things like that. Adam, what do you use to scratch your back, Adam? Because Adam is our expert in the room.
I already own a back scratcher. I have a wooden novelty back scratcher that I purchased at some gift shop in Maine years ago.
Now, does it say the town?
I believe it does. It might be a Gunkwood. I might have bought it at the 10,000 pieces of junk, or 10,000 gifts.
Gunkwood has a very thriving gay community.
It does, absolutely. A great LGBTQ.
In fact, is that not the place where the guy was caught at the gift shop putting stuff up his butt?
Oh,
remember we did that story?
No, Dan Roach was in here. I remember Roach's reaction.
Yeah,
remember that?
They had
a story doing Roaches.
Dan was not happy with us.
There was a news story where there was a guy at a gift shop in some town. Obviously, it was in a town, but it was in some kind of vacation town, and he was a big burly fella. Looked the part, and he was taking items and he was shoving them down his pants around the back, and they believed stealing things internally, like he was stealing the items.
Well,
by
either
putting
that
them
or
in them.
trying them out first, if that's what he was purchasing them for in the first place. You go into Harbor Freight and you're buying gloves, you try the glove on to see if it's going to be
I don't know if you do that anyway. But
Sadly, not in Maine. It was in Texas, and the gentleman in question was wearing a kilt.
Yeah, that's right. He was wearing a kilt.
Yeah,
he was wearing a kilt, and he was. And then he would reach behind himself, and they sat there, and he was on tape, so you could. The news showed it.
Yep.
They showed him reaching around and putting the stuff in himself.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah. Sat on that story for months until Dan Roach was in studio.
Sat on it, did you?
Yeah.
Hey, so you got a back now? Your back scratcher, does it have a hand on it?
It's shaped like a little. It looks like it's like a wooden, so it's curved
like
at
a
the
dead
end,
man's hand.
It does. It looks like a little like
rigor
a
mortis
claw.
is set in.
Yeah, exactly, and you scratch away.
How
with
much
that.
did you pay for that thing?
Oh, I probably like $2.
Okay, so what is this back scratcher? Is it free or is someone selling it?
I got to think someone's selling that.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're not just looking to get rid of it. It's not taking up room.
You are correct. And that makes
$5.
$2.
$2.
If you want that back scratcher. All right.
Again, my ex-wife sold my son's bat bags on Facebook Marketplace for $2, and there were people that came by to look at them.
Yeah.
But wasn't there still stuff in them though? There wasn't.
Well, yeah,
supposed to
my
be?
son was like, have you made sure there's nothing in them? And she's like, yeah. And then so he went through them, and there was still a bunch of stuff in them.
And batting gloves and such.
Yeah, like the stuff that he wanted.
Right, that he actually needed.
Wait a second. Nick has something in that needs to be discussed. Nick, go ahead.
Fred, yes. I wasn't sure if you saw the video of the road rage accident over the weekend.
Yes.
Where a lady defecated on the top of another woman's car.
Yes, we're going to get to that.
Sickness.
Yes, we've had that.
Okay.
We've had that on deck for a long time. No pun intended. We are going to do that story today. Thank you. We did see that. That is, we are ready to go with that. We have that
9 o'clock.
Everyone's been chomping at the bit for us to get to that. We have seen the road rage accident where the woman pulled down her pants and went duty on the car. That was how she expressed her rage. She said the person called her fat.
He had diarrhea.
Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go a little closer to Boston here. I believe this is in Quincy, where there is a backyard glass/metal round table and several metal chairs and an umbrella. And you can see in the photograph here, Fred, very nice. So you can see what it looks like. There's a gentleman pictured at the table smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, he's got his legs crossed. He's just enjoying a cigarette. He's like a Katharine Hepburn in 1945.
Is he posing or is it candid?
No, he's posing.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
No, he's posing.
This is a backyard glass metal round table and several metal chairs with an umbrella. Now, the interested party must move objects from basement.
Oh,
boy. May need to disassemble
Yes, get down
table.
in the basement. Please.
Is this for sale or is this for free?
I can't bring them up from the basement. You'll have to go down there. The lights don't work. Now, look, yes, those chains over there, yes, connect yourself to them. You'll need them to pull.
It kind of smells funny down in this basement.
Well, that is the smell of ether and chloroform. Now, please, there's nothing wrong with the basement. Go down there. And never mind the hole that has been dug for you to live in. There's several bottles of lotion surrounding it. Well, if they want you to move it, you would think that you would be giving that away from free. You would want to be unloading that. That seems like a lot of stuff, but yet it's worth a great value.
Mm-hmm.
So here we are. Maybe that you adjust the price based on the labor.
Yeah.
So maybe you go, I want someone to take it away, but I'm not just giving it away. I mean, I have to report this on my taxes. I'm guessing that costs money.
Adam told be happy you can have this table for free.
Yeah. I just got to hump it out of the basement myself, right?
That's right. Yeah, and maybe disassemble the table.
Hey, you want to give me a hand with that, Hardy? You did a great job with the, what was it, the treadmill there, right?
No, it was
the elliptical machine?
No. The last time I moved some, that was the mini pool table that I took T-Bone with me, and he just got tired of me jawing with the person I was buying it from, and he just picked it up himself.
Yeah, he just picked it up himself with his superhuman strength and moved it.
Hoisted it into the truck.
And then you felt bad about yourself after that, or did you feel good?
I only felt bad because it was Christmas Eve, and I guess he wanted to go home. But otherwise, it was fine.
You got him to go on Christmas Eve. Now, Adam, is that something that interests you? Do you have a backyard?
I do have a backyard, but I also have a neighbor who has a bunch of that stuff, so I'll just use his.
All right.
You know?
What do you mean?
Hey, he's got patio furniture and such.
So you just walk over to his yard and sit at his table?
Well, no, it's a shared backyard. You know, Fred divorced, shared wall. You got to have, you know.
I don't have a shared backyard.
No? Oh, I do. Yeah, nice.
There's no fence separating the two?
No.
Well, that's odd.
No, it's odd to have a fence. That's weird that people do that.
Good fences make good neighbors.
Yeah, okay, Bob Frost, thanks.
How do you figure that it's weird to have something?
I just think it looks weird when people put those like, oh, this is my space, not yours. It's like,
this is my property. This is my yard.
Just you know, it's open space.
Communal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Bingo, commie.
This is the way he says to himself that he doesn't need space. This is the way he tells himself that he's living the right way.
Right.
He lives in a teepee out there by Walden Pond.
It's a Hogan.
Let me see if I can give Adam 12 an erection here with a series of words. Collective. Huh? Is it moving back there?
Ashram.
Communal.
Oh, Ashram, you don't have the discipline.
No.
In North Braintree, someone is selling what appears to be a garment of some kind. Now, you can't tell if this is a T-shirt or a long-sleeve blouse. There is a price tag attached to it of $6.88. The description says XL, brand new, has a little stain. I've included a picture.
What?
And you can pick it up. Oh, actually, in Weymouth.
All right.
So,
am I able to smell it beforehand?
The listing originated in Braintree, but Again, there's another photo of it, Fred. I don't know if you can tell what this garment is. I myself cannot. It looks like a shirt of some kind. But again, the price tag visible in the photo is $6.88. It's a shirt.
All right,
and it has a stain.
Where's the stain and what does it look like? What does the
Tell
stain
me it's
look
under
like?
an armpit. That's what I
Is it on the back?
Where is it? Where's the stain?
It looks like about the spot where the red spot was on the cashmere sweater.
Okay.
Now, is it red?
It is. No,
Is the woman fertile?
it's a dark stain on a. I'll call this a salmon-colored blouse.
Was it salmon always? Did something horrible happen in it?
It may have been put in the wash. It may have been white and put in the wash with something dark red.
Oh.
What was red?
$6.88, brand new, has a little stain.
Why did you empty out your bathroom trash in the wash and made everything red?
Is this free or for sale?
Throw in a pair of high heels pre-worn, and you've got yourself a deal.
So many external factors, Hardy.
Yeah.
I'm going to say for sale.
Well, I think it would really bother me if it wasn't for sale. If someone just was saying, "Come pick this up."
It is a $1.88 discount from the new price, $5. That could be yours right now.
Yeah, they kept the original thing on. This is someone flipping stuff from. What they do is they will go to a garage sale and they will pick up items, and then they'll wear them for like a year, and then they'll flip them. And so, at the end of the day, you're making money. Don't worry about it. You're selling at a discount.
Making $1.88 right there.
Yeah.
What's the origin story behind this listing, Fred? 2007 Lexus ES350 owner's manual.
Now, that's not available online.
Now, this includes the owner's manual and quick guide for the 2007 Lexus ES350.
How many of those cars riding around these
Well,
days?
it doesn't matter. These are to be serious. That every owner's manual, has been the actual owner's manual is online, like as a PDF.
Yeah.
It's not just a digital display of the owner's manual. Like, because if you've tried to fix anything, and even I have, or if you've looked for if you've had a problem with your car, the Ford owner's manuals are a PDF of it's the actual owner's manual. So
Now,
this is from my collection, I would say.
Yeah, and this is from Newton Highlands. So do you think somebody bought a new 2007
Not
Lexus
in the Highlands.
ES350
Not in Newton Highlands,
18
no.
years ago and held on to the manual?
Not in Newton Highlands. I'll tell you that. Who knows what's going on over there? It's probably got bullet holes in it.
Is this for sale or is
the
this
Newton
free?
North part of town? Hachi machi. No, thank you. Well, it's got to be for the collector. Is it in a plastic?
It is
bag?
it is in a leather bound binder. It is
the original leather bound binder.
Yeah, they're selling that. Someone out there collects those. Absolutely, that's for sale.
You can have that for free, Adam.
Whoa!
Now, what is the point of not throwing that away? I'm being serious. Now, why? Adam probably could answer this. Like, you're obviously going through things, and you're finding things that you no longer want. And instead of just throwing them away, because you can't donate that shirt, they're going to just get rid of it. Even places where you donate clothes, they don't want clothes with stains on them and stuff.
No.
They want clothes that the people don't feel embarrassed to wear. It doesn't, not high fashion or anything, but lightly worn clothes, if worn at all. What is the compulsion not to just throw that away? Is that like a hoarding? I wonder if it's a hoarder. Now you got me thinking.
Maybe.
If you're a hoarder and you are just starting to get rid of stuff, but you don't really want to get rid of it, so your justification is to, well, I'm trying to give it away, but no one has taken it
I can't speak
yet.
on it. I'm the opposite of that. As much as I like to be a cheapskate, I hate having crap all around. I get rid of crap all the time. I can't have clutter and stuff around.
I don't have a lot of things either. I'll throw anything away.
Yeah. Well,
friendships.
I'll recycle it.
Family relationships. I throw it all away.
Let me ask you something. Would you throw away fuzzy slippers, not one pair, but two pair?
What now? What?
This is in Oakdale.
How dirty?
DF
Oakdale.
memory foam slippers and fuzzy slippers.
Is there a memory of you stepping on a rat?
both size 8 wide.
Is there a memory of you perhaps killing something in them? A large rodent, a bug.
You can have both pairs of slippers either for free or for a purchase price, which
lightly
is it,
soiled.
gentlemen?
Does it show the bottom of them?
There is no photograph of the bottom.
Mm.
Oh, there is.
Oh.
There's the bottom of the slipper.
Oh, there's white, perhaps bird doo-doo. Well, those are obviously, and in all seriousness, I wonder if this is a way to get a foot fetishist to purchase those. You don't just sell 2 pairs of fuzzy slippers worn. You sell them. You don't just give them
You
away.
absolutely sell them.
Yeah, for $3,000.
$10 each, $20 if you want both pair of those slippers.
All right. Well, I'll have to smell them first.
Finally,
At least to lick them.
rabbit fertilizer.
What?
Rabbit fertilizer for the garden. I have a large pail of wood shavings with rabbit pellets in my backyard that my landlord is asking me to get rid of because she thinks it's not biodegradable.
Fool.
Disclaimer. Using bunnies as a photo example. They're not being given away. Only their compost is.
Well, who's feeding the snake? You ever see a rabbit get killed by a snake? Makes you not want to have the snake anymore. We had a guy in my fraternity had a big python. Used to feed it rabbits, live rabbits.
Rabbit droppings are rich in nutrients and help plant growth. And
Yeah,
these
no
guys
kidding.
get fed apples,
Blah,
carrots,
blah, blah.
lettuce-
Take a dump in it and then we'll talk.
lettuce, hay, and pellets.
Yeah. Squat over it, take a dump, and then we'll talk.
Rabbit fertilizer.
I want human poo.
For gardening. In
Hello.
In Flaherty, is it for sale or free?
No, they're giving that away. Yeah. They wouldn't just. That's something that Adam would do. In all seriousness, that's something that Adam would do. He would be like, I'm not putting this in a garbage dump for it to just biodegrade
there's use
there.
for it.
Because if it was biodegradable in your yard, it would be biodegradable in the dump as well.
That's right.
But you can't. But then someone might buy fertilizer, which is the whole big fertilizer business, and we can't have that. Black Crows.
Yep.
And Brad Whitford, the Joe Perry Project.
Oh. That's a super group.
Yeah.
Touring as a super group. Now, Eddie had been holding on to this information for a while, but he had gotten the green light from Joe Perry's camp.
It was under
okay.
embargo. Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes, like when he announced Tesla, no one else finds this funny but me. But he might have gotten himself in. He goes, whoopsies, I might have gotten myself in trouble because he announced Tesla might be doing another residency in Vegas. And then when his crack producer checked, it wasn't out on the internet yet. So Eddie said, whoopsies. I mean, these guys might get back again. But
where was the Tesla residency in Vegas? Was it in front of the bar next to the sports book at Arizona Charlie's?
No, it was part of their Applebee's deal. But the Joe Perry Project, when he was announcing the new lineup, personal friends with all the guys he mentioned. Of
course.
He's like, I got a relationship with all these guys. Chris Robinson, the DeLeo guy, the drummer, relationships with every one of them. And he felt, and he listed those dates, but not the Steve Miller dates, because there was only 8 Joe Perry Project dates. He said, if you live in a town, and also, if I may, one last thing, AC/DC, why didn't they play the New York area? Only one Northeast show, Foxborough. Why? And it was no offense to the smaller markets, but they played Detroit, Massachusetts, Vegas. They didn't play the San Francisco Bay Area.
Big misstep.
It's odd.
It's beyond oversight.
They need 3 days between shows, too, so, Anyway, something to think about. All right. Guess what? We didn't talk about Jordan Hudson yesterday. Well, that's going to change next.
You're listening to Toucher and Hook.
I get it. I've got information about Belichick coming out my ears. I'll tell you what. I wish if I liked sports this much, I'd be Stephen A. F. Smith. I'll tell you, I got people coming up to me on the street. No, you don't, Fred. I swear to God, on the street. I never have people come up to me on the street. Very rarely. I have several people a day coming up to me on the street. They love that Bill Belichick is a stupid idiot. They love it. They love it. They love it as much as I do. I got to be honest with you. For the first time in my career, I feel like I am part of the zeitgeist in town. I feel like I am. We all are. I feel that everyone is equally enjoying what a dumb idiot that bully prick is, and how he is really a fincuck or whatever it's called, a findom guy, where he gives his finances
I
away.
like that new word you just came up with.
Fincuck.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that would be giving the guy banging your lady money, which I cannot accuse him of because that has not been alerted to me. But
it's
I got
fin sub.
Yeah, fin sub. I guess I've got people texting me on the inside.
Whoa.
Or at least with inside information. I've got people sending articles. I mean, it's very exciting for me. I'm red hot with this stuff. Jordan Hudson, of course, making a huge mess of Bill Belichick's life. But that's his fault because he gave someone with no experience control of his finances. You'll recall she outbid someone whose friend was also one of my friend's friends was bidding on a property in Charlestown, which he was going to turn into several different properties. He was going to make it several different rentals. He puts like bathrooms in and then divvies it up into a bunch of places.
Yeah.
And he said, Jordan, no such plans, but outbid him. And this is what the guy does for a living. And he was like, oh, Jesus Christ. He's like, she's going to go there. Okay. So not only is she buying properties, but according to my source, overvalued.
Interesting.
Miss Maine, the contest is going on in 4 days, 2 hours, and 27 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Hudson, there is a way that you can vote as many times as you want. $1 a vote. You can vote for people. And there are some women that are, first of all, these photos are highly, highly filtered.
I'm sorry, was that a joke or is it you can really buy votes for this?
Why would I
know if you're making it?
You think I'm? Well, first of all, it wouldn't be funny, so I can see why you would think it was one of my jokes. But no, it is $1 a vote, and you can vote as many times as you want.
Wow.
Jordan's got 5 votes. There are. I'll tell you this. Jordan has got 21 votes. The most amount of votes is 100. No, Jordan's got 5 votes. The most is 287 votes. One lady's got 994 votes. Someone's got. But there's a lady with 1 vote or 5 votes. 5 votes seems to be the lowest. Jordan's not, but she hasn't been promoting it. I'll promote it for her. Some of these women are very beautiful. Some of them, if you put my hand on a Bible, I would not swipe right on. But that's just me. It's a big mix. There's a mix of ladies. Let's just say that. But she's not doing well in the public voting. But of course, that will not make a difference. But I will tell you this, is that People Magazine has come out with a story. People Magazine, you remember People Magazine? They have the sexiest man of the year and things of that nature, Mark Harmon and such.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick's kids hope his relationship with Jordan Hudson is a quote-unquote good choice. They're hoping that. Of course they would. Then in parentheses, so you know it's a good article, exclusive source. So People Magazine, they've not only found someone that say, hey, I hope my dad hasn't thrown his life away and all our money's gone. They found someone as bold enough to go out on a limb as that. It's an exclusive source. This person will talk to no one else.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling this person's last name is either Hudson or is Italian, ends in a vowel. I'll give you a hint.
Don't know who Bill Belichick is.
Lombardi. But I do think
This is
it's
unbelievable.
So this is what the source says. Bill Belichick's kids want the best for their father, which I don't doubt. Of course they do.
Mm-hmm.
This is not on the kids. Of course. What are they going to do about any of this? There's nothing they can do. It's their dad. I mean, I guess they could put it in conservatorship and they could go down that road, but then he'd lose his job. Bill Belichick's kids want the best for their father amid his relationship with 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, but some have hesitations. An insider close to the Tar Heels head coach 73 tells People exclusively his children want the best for their dad, but so now it's not the children talking. It's someone who is saying that they know the children. And Jordan Hudson has met the children. You'd have to assume.
Well, it's unavoidable.
Maybe not at a Nantucket party they were throwing, but maybe at another source. His children want the best for their dad, but like most family members, they hope this is a good choice for him. So far, hard-hitting stuff. This is the deep throat of the world of Bill Belichick. Belichick has 3 children with his ex-wife and Debbie Clark Belichick, and they go through all that for those of you who don't know. And then they go through how Steven's wife had gone after her on social media. And the relationship is real, though. Is real despite the age difference, the source said. Of course, why should age be a factor in anything? The ability to get an erection without injecting yourself or pumping your penis up.
Correct.
If that is the case, it should not preclude one from sleeping with you. I mean, that's
No.
just the process of age. Hudson and Belichick share the same interests, which is he likes giving his money away and she enjoys having it. They have the same interest, how to keep his balls from falling out of his shorts. These are big interests. Him not knocking into things. These are big interests of him. His ability to sign checks is big interest. We share these things. And they enjoy, quote unquote, being together.
Yeah.
This source is crazy. They found someone who said they enjoy being together. Can you believe it?
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
They're together.
He's extremely private, and anything she can do to keep that vibe is fine with him. He wants that. Well, guess what? She's failing completely. She's putting their relationship on social media. She put herself in a Dunkin' Donuts commercial. Who is this insider? Is this insider had an air conditioner hit their head off a 6-story building? In what brain injury hospital did you find this person? He is extremely private, and anything she can do to keep that vibe is fine with him. He wants that. Well, he found, I don't know, the exactly wrong person for that. A person that is doing the antithesis of that. What the hell private? What article is this? Are you unaware? This is a person she's running for Miss Maine. She's actively putting posts of them together, and it's weird on social media. She knows it's a freak show. She's putting this all on social media. He likes that private vibe. This was the point I was making all along. If a woman says, Fred, hey, I got kids. Hey, let's take a picture and put it on social media. No. I told you I went to on vacation with an influencer person, not Kendra. And they were getting like a deal with stuff, and they had to like make videos and stuff. They never asked me to be in one of the videos, and I'm a stupid disc jockey. But even if I was an accountant, no, I'm not going to be in your video. I got kids. I don't need that French telling them, look at what your dad was up to this weekend. It's insane.
I'm not talking about this.
Hudson is an assertive, smart, and ambitious. Oh, well, certainly the last one is true.
She's assertive.
She's assertive and ambitious.
Yeah, she's
I will question smart. Says the source, adding that will always do whatever she can to make him look good. Again, this is a complete failure.
Failing miserably there, too.
Yeah, try not the Navy shirt, the Stolen Valor Navy shirt with the hole in it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good way. If you physically you want him to look good, get him a bra.
Yeah, use his money to buy him some new clothes.
Or
That's
perhaps
the dumbest narrative.
Listen, as someone who's hoist those jugs up on him. My goodness. She's the kind of person who has a plan and is diligent about sticking to it. Yes, find old people to fleece. Find old men that will give you things. That's the plan.
No.
Someone found her journals from elementary school, and they just had pictures of George Burns with hearts around them.
The guy from the Monopoly game.
She wanted to go to Disney when she was a little kid to see Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. She used to play with fake coins and just throw them in the air. I'll tell you, She loves guys in top hats and monocles. No, in all seriousness, she was Yoda. It was her favorite Star Wars character. She's very ambitious. She knows what she wants, they say. She's the kind of person who has a plan and is diligent about sticking to it. Yes. Getting the money. She is young but mature beyond her years. Hudson has become more involved in Belichick's day-to-day. This is a really, they really do got an insider, including acting as his publicist and filing for trademarks on his behalf, similar to how Belichick previously named his ex-girlfriend of 16 years, Linda Holliday, as the president and foundation of their relationship, and how he bought a $2.2 million place in Park Slope for a receptionist for the Giants, similar to that. And that it was all put out into the divorce. He's been paying. Yes, Belichick has a history of paying women to like him. Belichick said in a statement on Wednesday, April 30th, that he has both a personal and professional relationship with Hudson, who's his creative muse. A second source, so they dug. You got to get two sources. Close to Belichick.
Speak for him.
Close to Belichick agrees that having Hudson be so involved in the coach's career works for them. Jordan's a very efficient and productive.
Yeah,
says the source, saying, and then added, she got $8 million within a year, and that's all we know. She was able to buy 17 wrestling robes to wear on the field during practice.
That's efficient and productive.
Like, who would have thought she could have ruined his reputation and taken all his money this quickly?
It's very efficient the way she did that.
You know what I can tell you for sure? This ain't his kids.
No.
I got news for you. This ain't his kids and it ain't their wives.
No,
I can tell you.
It is Lombardi. The more I'm listening to this, the more it is Lombardi. It has to be.
Bill is older now and has a lot of trouble keeping his balls from hitting his toes. And starting a new job, but still a superstar and in demand. He is a superstar. I'll tell you this. He is a bigger star than he's been in quite some time. That he is. He's a star as being he's Mr. Magoo of our generation. Good old feet first Billy B. Feet first Billy B, Mr. Magoo. Don't let him drive because he can't see.
Oh my goodness.
Superstar in demand. He knows what he's doing, and Jordan makes him happy. He does know what he's doing because he is obviously very aware that he is online. She is a mermaid and he is a fisherman. They met on a flight. So there you go. That is according to People Magazine, the inside sources.
Flight, yacht charter, whatever. They met.
Well, I'm hearing the flight story is real. It was a JetBlue flight, and that they were.
Sure, it may not be the first time they actually were in each other's company.
Who knows? Who knows? That I can't speak on, but I can tell you this: is that Bill Belichick is a buffoon and a fool. And I am loving every minute of it. But you only have 4 days, 2 hours, and 17 minutes to get your votes in. So far, I can tell you who's ahead in Miss Maine, and it's not close. It is Ariana DeJesus from Penobscot is where she's from.
Penobscot?
Yeah.
Penobscot.
Sure, that's where she's from. Oh, no. Lexi Bjork is right there from Greenville. They are in the lead.
What town is Jordan representing?
Yeah, right.
Hancock.
Hancock, Maine, which is where?
It's an injectable
12?
USA.
Where's Hancock, Maine?
Reese, where is Hancock, Maine? Reese is from Maine and does not know.
Oh,
I believe it's mid coast.
Well, there you go. It's a place. It's a commune for the great philosophy minds of the world. All right, there you go. So there's what's going on in the world of Jordan Hudson. Chris Forsberg is going to join us at 8 o'clock as the NBA playoffs move on and your Celtics begin again tonight. We will be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
MF Doom.
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. It's cracking, boy.
Same old kid.
Man.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. And there is some NFL news. Adam Schefter is reporting that a trade between Pittsburgh and Dallas for George Pickens is expected. And it's going to be a third-round pick and other pick swaps. Now, if you recall, the Steelers earlier in the offseason got Metcalf, DK Metcalf, and a pick for number 52 and a pick swap for a second-round pick and a pick swap. So Dallas is in desperate need of a receiver. The whole post-draft thing was Dallas failed to draft because they didn't get a receiver.
Yeah.
And then people started thinking, well, they're going to get Pickens. Now, Pickens, who could have been had when you took who did you take?
It wasn't N'Keal Harry. It was, darn it.
It was the second round.
Yes, I'll have to look it up.
Oh, it was the kid from Baylor, the Tyquan Thornton.
Yes.
You took Tyquan Thornton over George Pickens in the second round of that draft.
So Dallas
and Pickens only went to Georgia, so he again was an undiscoverable talent. But Pickens is insane. Again, George Pickens is the kind of guy that if you're watching a Steelers game, you know how they'll do a replay and you'll see someone throwing a fit? In live action, you can see him throwing a fit. That when they pan out and show the field during a play, you can see George Pickens either just stop his route and start throwing his hands up in the air and jumping up and down during the play, or break off his route and start throwing his hands up and jumping up and down during the play.
So this should be great when he sees 30% of all passes go to CeeDee Lamb while he's on the other side of the field. That should be fun for him.
But they are absolutely desperate for a receiver.
Right. As a number 2 guy, in theory, he slots in just fine.
And the Steelers are really smart because they make that Metcalf trade and then they wait. And look, who's going to be their quarterback? I don't know. But all I know is I'd rather have DK Metcalf than George Pickens. And the idea that you got Pickens for a second-round pick, or that you're getting the third-round pick for Pickens, and you gave up a second round for DK Metcalf, I like the way that went down if I'm the Steelers.
The official trade, this is according to Josina Anderson and others, is Pickens and a sixth for a third and a fifth.
Okay, so there you go. I enjoy that very, very much if I'm a Steeler fan. And George Pickens with the Cowboys should be fun, as John just said, because they're on TV every single day. Even the days that they're not playing, they're on TV.
Pickens was pissed he didn't get the ball in Pittsburgh. Just wait.
Oh, and he was pissed about the DK Metcalf trade. He was pissed. Because usually receivers, at least publicly at first, like Garrett Wilson, which he turned out not liking, probably was when they got Devontae Adams, was like, great. This takes pressure off of me. Like, now I can't get double teamed as much. Now he didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to throw no matter hell or high water to Devontae Adams when he was on the team. He was just going to feed him the ball and just ignore Garrett Wilson completely, and that the Jets had to go, oh, by the way, we have to go get a guy that you played college football with, so maybe you'll stick around. But who knows who's going to play quarterback for the Steelers, because, again, Aaron Rodgers has not said anything.
Does change, anything going on with Rodgers in his head in terms of playing for the Steelers? I mean, it's the one place really left that he can go. And
no, it's the only place he can go. Minnesota, I guess he could go to Minnesota. Maybe then that's what he's waiting for. But if I'm Minnesota, I don't want anything. I don't want to tread in that. If I'm the Steelers, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was really bad last year, and he's incredibly, as you know, toxic. And it's not BS. I mean, he had guys on that Jets team wanting to leave the team. I mean, Garrett Wilson's, if not their best player, their second best player, and they don't have a lot of them. And he was ready to go. There was a lot of talk about him being ready to get out the door. Quinton Williams might be better than him, but that's a toss-up. I mean, Garrett Wilson is a top 5 receiver, in my opinion. He got 1,000 yards every season with Zach Wilson and broken Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of garbage, and a guy that wouldn't even throw him the ball last year, he still had 1,000 yards receiving. But if I'm the Steelers, I don't even know if I want him anymore. But then you wonder why.
You're going with Mason Rudolph or Skylar Thompson?
No, I'm going with Will Howard, my 7th-round pick out of Ohio State. He wanted the playbook that weekend. That's why they drafted him. He called them and he said, we were going to give you the weekend off. He goes, I don't want the weekend off. I want the playbook now.
He walked into that office and said, you need to draft me. I'm pissed off when people don't draft. I'm going to make everybody who passed on me sad that they passed on me. You wait. Steelers were taken with
It's
that.
so funny. Bert loves Ohio State so much that Will Howard's combine performance has come out where he's missing receivers. He's throwing behind them 20 yards.
The same thing you did.
And Bert said that's an unfair edit.
I know.
Because if you want a professional quarterback, when they're in shorts, you want them
against air.
Now they are under a lot of pressure, and knowing that, and with no defender, you want them throwing 20 yards off target. But in fairness, it is a lot of pressure. They're at the combine. They won't face that in the NFL. There will be no pressure to succeed in the NFL.
No, right. Howard didn't even finish with Ohio State, right? He finished with
No.
Syracuse,
He finished with Ohio State.
Did he finish with Ohio State?
The kid from Syracuse. Mike Lockhart loves that kid from Syracuse.
Oh,
he
yeah?
thinks that kid's and I don't think he got drafted. Did he get drafted?
Man.
But I don't know. If I'm the Steelers, maybe I just do I just take Mason Rudolph and I go, here we go.
Somebody was hypothesizing that the Steelers are trying to tank next year, and that's why they waited until after the draft for this trade, and they're not doing anything at quarterback. But you don't go out and pick up a receiver.
Yeah, why would they trade a second-round pick for DK Metcalf if they were looking to tank? And why would they be in the Aaron Rodgers business at all if they were looking to tank?
Right.
If you were going to tank, then you would have taken a quarterback in the draft. At some point outside of the 7th round, you would have taken a quarterback in the draft. You would, or maybe you're tanking for next season when there's going to be better quarterbacks. But I don't think Pittsburgh has ever looked to tank. Maybe now before the 70s, they were the worst team in football.
Yeah,
3 bricks shy of a load.
It's been 50 years of 500 or better make the playoffs.
Yeah,
right. I mean, when my dad first moved to Pittsburgh, I mean, they were giving away season tickets. And they were the worst team in the NFL. They were a joke.
You think about it. Yeah. When in the early 80s, after Bradshaw and all of them left, they had a big drop Bubby Brister.
Well, I'm
was the
talking about
quarterback.
like 1970. Before then they got me, Joe Green, and then they got Bradshaw and Swan and Stallworth and Ham and Lambert. I mean, they had those great
No,
drafts.
but the consistency other than those years.
Those Bubby
since then
Brister
have been
teams,
amazing.
I don't think were terrible. And remember, Mark Malone, and they made a Super Bowl with Neil O'Donnell.
Yep.
Like they, I don't know. It would be interesting to pull that up. Maybe with Chris, I know Chris Forsberg's next, but maybe we'll find out what the Steelers' record has been since I've been alive, since 1975.
Okay, so they haven't been below 500 in 22 years.
Okay.
That's number one. And then, we'd have to go back to compile the.
Yeah, you just have to go to PFF. But since 1975, how many times they've been under 500? I'd be interested in seeing that.
Oh my God! Like maybe
1, 2, 3,
4 times.
4.
And when they're under 500, how far under 500?
There was a 6 and 10. There was a 5 and 11.
Times.
Okay,
5 times.
5 times in 50 years they've been under 500.
That's correct.
Yeah, they're not tanking.
And never worse than 6 wins.
That's insane. That's
I'm
really
sorry,
insane.
I take it back. 5 and 11
Okay.
in 1988.
I just said that, John.
My apologies, Hardy.
And then they turned around and made a Super Bowl right after that, if I'm not mistaken. Because that Neil O'Donnell season couldn't have been that much later than 1988.
No, it was.
No.
They made the playoffs the next year, but
They
not
lost
Super Bowl.
they lost the divisional game to the
When did they
Broncos.
make the Super Bowl? with Neil-
95.
Okay.
95, 11 and 5.
I'm older than I thought. And then the Jets made that magnificent trade for Neil O'Donnell, where they gave up a ton to bring in that dope, that big tooth jerk they brought in so he could fail. And people think that he owed gambling debts. He was so bad. I don't believe that to be true, but people show highlights and they're like, look, he had gambling debts. Yeah. And he threw the Super Bowl, and then the Jets still traded for him. All right, we'll be back. Chris Forsberg will join us.
$60. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics will play the Knicks in Game 2 of their best-of-7 second-round playoff series at TD Garden tonight. Losing Game 1 wasn't in Joe Mazzulla's plans, but he's fine with doing things differently than expected.
I think it's just, we talk about managing expectations. It's not supposed to go a certain way, and so every series is different, every season is different, and so you just have to manage the expectations and focus on the things that you can control within a game.
Sean Grandy and Cedric Maxwell have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at just after 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics got some good news yesterday. Kristaps Porzingis upgraded to probable for tonight. Sam Hauser and his sprained ankle are doubtful. The Cleveland Cavaliers now trail Indiana 2-0. They blew a 7-point lead in the final minute and lost to the Pacers 120-119. Golden State lost Steph Curry to a strained hamstring in the first half, but they still took Game 1 in Minnesota 99-88. Texas got 5 runs in the fourth inning. They beat the Red Sox 6-1 at Fenway Park. Same two teams will go at it again tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers have traded wideout George Pickens in a 6th-round draft pick to Dallas today for 3rd and 5th-round selections. And the New England Revolution visit Rhode Island FC tonight in the round of 32 of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. We'll have that match live on our HD2 channel at 7:30. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning, keeping drains flowing for homes and businesses in the greater Boston area since 1976. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Some people play the game.
Hey, Jalen Brown.
Blocked by Horford. Some talk about
Let's welcome to the Sports Hub Celtic Show, by the way. Jim Murray, Chris Gasper.
The Sports Hub Celtic Show with Murray and Gasper. Saturdays at noon on the Sports Hub. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, the Sports Hub.
At the end of the day, if you're open, you have to shoot it, and you also have to have an understanding of the ebbs and flows of the game and how it's going at that particular time. No one shot is the same, and I think you take a look at yesterday. I love the majority of our shots. Like I said, there's probably 10 or 11 you could probably take back considering the ebbs and flows of how the game was going at that particular time. So
I'm just keeping a close eye on these phrases. And the parents then found them because they were missing.
Right.
And the indigenous people or Native American tribes said to them, would you like to stay for our powwow? And they said, absolutely. They said, as you say, it will be a groovy time.
Mm.
That's what he says. And you're like, they're just like us. They know groovy. They know how it goes. Look at this a-hole getting them all mixed up. Grand Canyon with the Hawaii episodes. He's a real jerk off.
He's got that spear too. You know what always bothered me about that, and I couldn't quite figure out why it was so light outside. If it was the middle of the night, like
in the Grand Canyon?
No. In the Hawaii episode too, when they're outside searching around for him, it's like this is the middle of the night right now.
And those are searching clothes too, which Mr. Brady's wearing. He's like, give me my finest denim suit.
Let me tuck my shirt in here and put on my white belt before I go look for my missing children.
Excuse me. I was just entertaining Mr. Maihoki. What was the name of the guy? There's Skanky Pickle has a song about him. Mr. Oh boy, now it's gonna bother me. All right, listen. Chris Forsberg is here, and he covers the Celtics for NBC Sports Boston. Talking Green with Chris Forsberg is presented by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn. Hello, Chris.
Good morning, Fred. Hey, speaking of journeys to exotic locations, did you come to Worcester this week?
I did. I was in Worcester. I threw out the first pitch at the Worcester Sox game.
Yeah, so let me check my phone here. No call.
Oh,
no
you were
text.
in his backyard.
Oh boy.
Not even a restaurant recommendation ask or anything. Just comes to Worcester and floats on out.
Hold on.
After throwing his pitch.
If he called you, would you have met him at the ballpark to watch?
Well, I was stuck at a dance competition, but I would have done everything possible to shake free.
Did you win?
I would have loved to have been there. I could have cheered him on with the tens of people that were at the game at that moment.
That's not
not nice at all.
No, there were a lot of people there. They do well.
They do. I'm joking. I'm saying like pregame. I'm not sure.
Oh no, there was. Well, you think no one was there. That's not the case. They just weren't excited to see me.
I'm just bitter that I've never been asked.
Well, you know what? Say you're going to a game on the air, and they'll have you throw out the first pitch. If they let me do it, they let me and my son do it.
By the way, it's Mr. Hanalei.
Mr. Hanalei, thank you.
Don't distract from the topic at hand, Hardy.
Stink and Pickle have a song called Mr. Hanalei.
It got very awkward, and I had to deflect.
Maybe, Adam, we can come out of the next break with Mr. Hanalei.
I'll find it.
All right, Chris Forsberg, what a loss the Celtics had. Now everyone is talking about the amount of three-pointers that the team has taken, and that is something that has been discussed for many years now. So that is an old discussion, and they've lost games before, and it has come up. But were you frustrated by their inability to adjust to the way the game was going, or is this the way that you win, and they're ultimately going to win this thing, so who cares?
Did we come on the air and scream when they shot 61 on opening night and made 29? Like, I think there's a balance. I was certainly among those that were, when you see that they took 19 out of 20 beyond the three-point arc in the third quarter, when you're up 20, when you have a chance to put this thing away.
Hold on a second. Did we come on the air and scream when they went 29 of 63 opening night? No, because that's twice as many as they made with just 3 more attempts. I don't understand what your point is.
Well, you're saying that some nights they make them and some nights they don't.
Yeah, people are mad when they don't make the shots. So, like, are you mad when they take 60 and are you mad because they missed, or are you mad because they took 60?
Mad because they kept shooting when they weren't making, and especially in the third quarter when they had scored a bunch of points in the paint in the second quarter, and then they just got away from that entirely and said, you know what, we haven't been making threes. Now we're exclusively going to shoot threes in the third quarter, and that's where they lost the game.
I hated the complacency. I hate that they fall into these little ruts where they do lose that aggressiveness, where they just settle, where they don't work for good offense. The balance is, if you go back and look at the threes, and I believe Joe when he says, and I know people hate hearing it, but there probably was 11, 12 threes that a lot of pull-ups. They took more pull-up three-pointers in this game than they normally do. Like, I think their average for the season was 16.7. They took 30. Those are not good three-pointers for the Celtics. The catch-and-shoot ones where you're moving the ball, where you're drawing to, where you're getting into the paint, to your point, Hardy, and kicking out are much better. So I didn't love the process at all times. But the NBA does this, and you got to take it with a grain of salt because no one can figure out if this computer is tracking it right and what exactly 4 feet of space and 6 feet of space is. But something like 54, 56 of the 63s were deemed open, like 4+ feet. Like, in general, if those are truly open, you want those shots. But a step back to get 4 feet, with low clock is not a good three, and the computer can't tell you that. So they just got to hunt the right ones, and certainly they need to be more aggressive when the wheels come off a little bit. When that lead's whittling down, I wanted someone to go to the basket. That's when you need Kristaps healthy on the floor. It's hard to catch yourself in the moment sometimes, and I wish they did.
Let's get into Porzingis a little bit because you guys tried to grill Joe Mazzulla on him yesterday, and originally he was his normal deflecting self, but eventually you got out of him that this illness he's dealing with is the same illness that cost him, 2-3 weeks longer during the regular season. Any idea what this thing is? And he's probable for tonight, but what percentage of him are the Celtics going to get?
Yeah, so, to give the backstory, missed 11 games from late February into mid-March, and all we kind of heard that it was some sort of upper respiratory, and, I don't know, like, guys are maybe a little bit more willing to talk about bumps and bruises and knee injuries and stuff like that, but when you get into respiratory stuff, they don't like to open up, and no one has quite explained to us what the full extent of this is, what it is, and it sounds like he's been like battling some after effects, which is weird because from mid-March to mid-April, he was pretty good. Like, I would say that game in New York where he scored 34 points and was knocking down threes all over the court, there was no reason to be suspicious that this was going to linger into the postseason. It's odd because coming off of 5 days off, Joe made it sound like he had no idea that Kristaps was even potentially ill before this game, and then he goes out there for that first stint, and you could tell, like, he was not good. He was winded. He was getting worked on the defensive end. And it was certainly concerning. So even if he's out there, we got to see what he looks like and what the limitations are on this. But he's a pretty open individual, and for him to not really say too much on it, like besides the fact that he's kind of going through it, has been weird. I think when initially he did say he was a little scared because you don't necessarily know what it is when they were first trying to diagnose this, and so something to watch moving forward. Every time the Celtics come out with that no injuries to report before game one, it's like the worst thing because then it just immediately turns and guys either get injured and. There's plenty to watch in terms of health with this team.
Suppose that Porzingis gives it a go tonight and can't and leaves early again. Can the Celtics beat the Knicks without him?
Yes. It gets a little bit more difficult for reasons we saw the other night. You need to be able to diversify the offense, and it's a lot easier to get post touches when you got the 7'3" guy. Defensively, they like putting him on Josh Hart, and that gives them some versatility to kind of combat Towns and Brunson. So, it's not if Luke Cornett isn't in foul trouble, you have some versatility there as a backup. But I'm interested to see how they play it. Do you keep Porzingis with that starting group if he's feeling the after effects still? Do you move Horford, who's been so good, into that role, and just knowing that he's going to probably be out there more consistently? There's some decisions they got to make about how to approach this depending on where Kristaps is at.
All right, have you? What do you make of Cleveland? They're in a lot of trouble here. The end of that game was great last night. That whole game was pretty good.
Outstanding.
It's got. I mean, Donovan Mitchell. You want to talk about having to take on a load? I mean, he had to do everything last night.
Couldn't do anything more than what he did.
Yeah, I mean, he was getting. I mean, he was. Indiana was perfectly fine just fouling them. They didn't care. They were well into the penalty very quickly in the fourth quarter. And he was getting knocked to the floor. It wasn't basketball knocked to the floor either. He was getting physically knocked to the floor. It was actually quite a heroic performance, I thought, by Donovan. Now, he made a big mistake at the end, but who can blame him? But I don't think, unless they get healthy in some way, shape, or form, that Cleveland's winning that series. What say you? Chris Forsberg.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2-0, and now having to go on the road is quite a task when you consider that the Pacers have been there. They I think we all, as they were going through their own ups and downs through the regular season, it was easy to dismiss them. And I'm sure I said it along the way. Like sometimes it's tough for a team to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and get back and bring the same level of intensity and focus, but. You could see second half of the year they were starting to creep up. They, another full season with Siakam in there. Like Nesmith has been fantastic. And if you felt like they were healthy, because they weren't at full health last year either, that they could give teams trouble. And it was clear that from the start of this series that they were going to be up and physical with Cleveland, and now Cleveland, just like last year, is dealing with its own injury woes. I'd be interested. Just like you said, Mitchell, even on his own, is so good that I think they can go into Indy and try to get back into this series. But Pacers, man, like they are relentless. And I mean, those final sequences were just absurd. And Nesmith going for the rebound and Halliburton just hitting the threes and embracing it. I thought the most telling thing was Halliburton's at the line in the fourth quarter, and Donovan Mitchell's trying to get the crowd to stop the overrated stuff because he just fuels off of it now. And, hits the dagger three, and now he's, goes to the podium and says, overrate that. And so when guys have that little extra bit of motivation, man, it just fuels them in a different way that you don't want to touch. And that team is red hot right now. I've got to book multiple destinations for the Eastern Conference Finals.
I've been saying it for months. I want nothing to do with Indiana. They don't seem to know that they shouldn't be there.
I do. They're boring.
They keep
you watch the end of that game and you think they're boring?
They're from Indiana, and they're boring, and they don't have Reggie Miller. I don't care about anyone on that team.
They've been doing it for years. They keep getting wins against teams that they shouldn't be getting wins against, and it's mostly Tyrese Halliburton, but they get contributions from other guys. And like, what the hell is this team? Why haven't we been talking about them all season long?
Halliburton, players don't like him. He's always rated the most overrated player in the NBA. He's always voted the most overrated player in the NBA. I'll be very frustrated if it's – look, we talked about it earlier, Chris. Anyone out of the West, anyone who's left, that's pretty cool matchup.
There are storylines everywhere.
There's like
Yes.
storylines everywhere. There's there's a couple championship teams. There's big stars on the other two teams. Like there's a lot going on. If they play in look, you got the Knicks, and that's nice that you're playing the Knicks for something. And who knows if the Knicks can manage to win another game out of the next 4, that's a fun thing. But I'll tell you what, this is it's going to be very frustrating if they play Indiana again.
You'd be more gassed up for a Cleveland series?
If Cleveland was healthy after the regular season they had, absolutely.
64 wins. They split during the regular season. Come on, Chris, you know better than that. If it's the Celtics and a fully healthy Cleveland Cavaliers team in the Eastern Conference Finals, that's fun.
I mean, I think the Celtics win, but I think that's
it's
fun.
It's good. There are things you can point towards.
And Cleveland's not going anywhere, right? So maybe that's the next step for Cleveland. Is
Indy going anywhere?
Who?
So my pushback would be like,
well, don't push back.
You got a seeds of a rivalry coming off of last year where you had a fun series, and I know it was a sweep, but they pushed it in a way that
sweep. Oh, get out of here! They pushed them. It was a sweep.
It was the most difficult series the Celtics played the entire playoffs.
Yeah, and it sucked last year. Was there a least satisfying
those games were
championship?
amazing.
You've been a Celtics fan your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, except for the early '90s because they were terrible.
All right. Yeah, regardless, you've been a fan of all the good. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Okay. Out of all the Celtics championships, where does this one rank? I know you're covering the team. Take that out of it. In terms of satisfaction, where does it rank?
It's pretty high up there because it was such an expectation. Look, I don't remember '86 well. I remember watching it. I don't remember being like, oh my God, the Celtics won, but it was just because it was what they did. 2008 was special because there was such a gap and it came together quickly. And I was more of a fan then going to games. I don't know. Last year was pretty high because they had to kind of go through it. I feel like we shouldn't. I think it just takes time to know where it slots. And I think we'll look back more fondly at that one as with the passing of time.
Well, the championship is always great if you're a fan of the team, but I'm just telling you, it wasn't overly.
You kind of answered it when you said you're going to have to put some distance behind it before you look back on it with any real admiration and excitement.
I mean, out of all the championships that teams have won since I've been here, that's the least amount of pop.
What qualifies the best then? Because they hit a last
2008
field goal, that makes it a better.
No. Oh, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why. After the break.
Oh,
look at you! Wow. It's such a pleasure to work with a pro like this.
Well, Adam is very excited. And by the way, we found Mr. Hanalei, the song by the Bruce Lee Band, and we'll come back with that as well. And we're all working on all cylinders. All right, we'll be back. We still have Chris. We'll be right back.
Toucher and Hardy. right here. Is that Dutcher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
We have to make sure that we protect home. We weren't able to do it at the first game, and now with the second game, we have a great opportunity.
Thing in my memory.
I'm impressed.
I remembered that song. All right, Chris Forsberg is joining us for NBC Sports Boston. If you're still listening, after we played a lot of that song, that's my fault. Chris, all right, you asked me because again, if they play Indiana in the next round, this is the Eastern Conference was not so great. Now, whoever they play in the final would be whoever's left. I'll take, because if Golden State somehow makes it to the finals after being in the play-in round, I don't want to play Golden State. And then
you got the rematch of the finals. You have Steve Kerr against Tatum and Brown.
Right, and obviously Denver has won a championship. They have the best player in basketball. Minnesota's got the most electric player in basketball, and they're on the come. And then, of course, Oklahoma City was so dominant. So anyone out of the West, you're fine. But and then you were asking me what makes a championship more valuable, and I think I can explain. Is that in the 80s and 90s, and then and it's usually the unique thing about the NBA that I tend to like is that like when the Pistons lost to the Knicks this year, you don't look at it if you're a Pistons fan and go, oh my God, I can't believe they didn't win. The future is horrible. You look at it like, okay, now this team knows how to play in the playoffs. They know what it takes. So the Philadelphia begat the Celtics. The Celtics begat the Pistons. Detroit. The Pistons begat the Bills. Like the Bulls. Mm-hmm. You know, like you had to like earn it. Like you had to figure it out and then go on to win. I like that about the NBA. It's one of the very few things I do like about it. I like that, you know, you have to kind of like get up there. And I understand that the Celtics did that, and it took them a while to learn how to win. But then when they started winning, they won the championship. They didn't have to go up against anyone that went through anything. They just went up against garbage the whole time. You understand? That's why, like, it was kind of a boring run. Now, it doesn't take away that they won a championship. It doesn't take away they got the parade and millions of people. I'm not diminishing it. It doesn't take away the legacy of the team or the talent of the team. I'm just saying from a television entertainment perspective, it was probably the least exciting out of any of the championships since I've been here, and there have been a lot. I don't know if that's absolutely true, if it was the least exciting, but I'm guessing maybe it was. It seems like there wasn't as much juice, if you know what I'm saying, because it was never really in doubt.
I don't know. I think it's easy in the moment to look back and be like, they went 16-3. It was easy. And
no, in the present, it was easy.
They made it look easy though. And
no, I know.
So, and I don't think in 20 years we ever remember the path. Do you remember who the '86 Celtics beat?
Yes.
Can you detail the entire path?
Let's see. Houston. They beat Houston to win it all.
You were struggling to find out who they beat in the finals.
No, because he's thinking about everyone they played.
And it's kind of unfair because John was 30 years old.
And he was drinking a lot.
Fine, let me step back.
No, 86. Can you name everyone they played in 86? I'm actually curious.
No, I can't. Not everybody. No.
All right. In the moment, though, it doesn't matter. Yeah, in history, the numbers will be retired.
So my argument that you need the benefit of time to fully absorb what it means, and we need to know what this looks like. Do the Celtics win another championship this year?
But I could tell you everyone that the Pistons lost to leading up to their championship. And I could tell you everyone that Chicago lost to because they to get their championship. I can tell you, that I can tell you that you had these great teams going up against one another. There was just not that challenge last year. It doesn't really matter. It's just going to be. Go ahead.
I will relent. Like when I think of the best championships of the past 25 years, like certainly the Patriots in the path going from the Snow Bowl to the upset of the Rams. That one ranks way higher in my mind,
and they also had Indianapolis to contend with. There were real competition there when they were winning in the second era.
Indy wasn't much of a chance.
They won a Super Bowl and they had the second best quarterback in football at the time. I mean, it was they were.
The Patriots made it look easy against that team.
They lost to them. I mean, they went for it on 4th and 2, and they managed to lose that. I mean, there was an instance where they lost to them in the playoffs. So
I think what you're telling me that Boston versus Indy has some serious juice.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. That's right. That's serious.
Rematch of last year.
Yeah,
Indiana has to learn how to win.
But he's saying that Colts Patriots. Maybe you transfer that into the realm of basketball. I understand where
Peyton Manning sitting courtside.
There's something missing, and I don't want to keep couching this with, of course, when you win a championship, it's great because it's lame and it's obvious. But if you can compare them, yeah, there's something missing when you're expected to win. And last year, they were expected to win. If they didn't win last year, it felt like, of course, they were going to win. They were the better team throughout. And so if they don't end up facing Cleveland, the number 1 seed, and getting past Cleveland on the way there, then, yeah, there will be something missing from this.
So what happens if Indy goes on and 2 years from now wins the title? Do we revisit how we look at Indy and where they were at in the Celtics quest?
You won't have to worry about it because it'll be the Pistons doing that.
Sure. You know what? Yes, it will change it. Certainly. If Indiana goes on and becomes like a perennial Eastern Conference like finalist, or, this is something that becomes habit and they keep adding to the team and they keep getting better. Yeah. What if they got like Giannis or something? Like, yeah, sure. Like there's a way that could become something, certainly. Yeah.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. I think you just need.
But it just wasn't at the time. I mean, but we're talking about two different things. I'm not arguing the historical.
You're making my point. Like,
I'm not arguing how it will be looked upon historically. I'm talking about in real time. We're arguing two different things. Just in the moment, it's not that exciting. It just isn't.
I'm talking this one up in the Forsberg win column, but we're good.
Because I think that you right now are filibustering and gerrymandering
and a victory lap, which is odd
and gaslighting, quite frankly.
Wow! I don't get these opportunities. Normally, I get stuffed in a corner in these arguments.
Well, awful announcing. Adam 12 tells me awful announcing has been quite cruel to you. No, I wouldn't know any of that because they've never done it to me.
Do you want to hear these?
One of my buddies just texted me. So
they do this to me all the time. And again, if I'm ever shot and killed, the blood is on the hands of awful announcing. In fact, I just read this article in Esquire. It won a Pulitzer about a pastor in Alabama that was outed as a cross-dresser by a website called 1819. They released a hit piece on him for no reason, and the man ended up killing himself. And now they have to answer to that. And if I get killed, awful announcing will have to answer it.
What if it's the receptionist
like
from your dentist's office that kills you? Are they still to blame?
That's on me, because if I can't outrun her, I'm in trouble.
All right, so do you
By the
want
way, I've been offered free dental care by a dentist in Newton.
Oh, nice.
That's always
there
good.
You go.
That reminds me of my dad's 2-for-1 LASIK surgery that he got in Canada.
You liked it off air.
How about this, Chris? Do you want to hear this first, or do you want to explain what awful announcing is going after you for?
I suspect, because some Knicks people plucked the clip first, so awful announcing couldn't even do their job first. They
don't do anything. They just gather information and complain about it.
Yeah, so someone plucked. We were discussing the low energy inside the Garden to start, and I will fully admit it probably came off as sour grapes, but I maybe blamed it on the rain, and but Milli Vanilli told me that was okay.
This is you and Abby Chin, okay?
Much like this crowd in general, it just didn't have the same zest to start the game.
I agree. I think it was the 7 o'clock start. That's what I'm blaming. 7 o'clock on a Monday.
Rain.
Yeah, dreary day outside. There were a lot of open seats when the anthem was sung. So I'm going to blame it on that.
Okay, I haven't read the article. What's the problem with that? And I'm not just protecting Chris. I have no idea what the problem with that is.
They call it laughable because the Celtics play plenty of games in the 7 o'clock area.
Who cares?
I'm just explaining what the argument was. I agree.
So what are they supposed to do? What is the issue here? What did they say? They said they admitted the crowd was. They brought up that the crowd wasn't into it.
Oh, it's zesty.
They like this is what I understand. They brought up that the crowd wasn't into it. They brought up the issue. It wasn't like this piece of news that had to be discussed and they were clamoring on how to spin it. They brought it up. That's like when you say something about yourself that's embarrassing and then people like attack you about the embarrassing thing and you're like, I told you that. Like, I'm the one who told you that. Well, good for awful announcing.
Something?
Things are flying off the press there. What else are they pissed about?
And they're wrong.
Is that it?
As an East Coast team, the Celtics played most of their regular season games with the start time around 7 o'clock.
No, it's 7:30.
It's 7:30.
They never play at 7.
And if you really want to know, huge difference driving in and around Boston between 6 and, say, 6:45.
Or how about this? There were a lot of Knicks fans there. Who cares?
Didn't have the same zest.
Is that it? Is that all they're mad about? For real? I haven't read the article. What else?
I haven't read it either.
Is there anything else?
That was the Knicks fans were on us yesterday about suggesting that the Celtics play was affected by the rainy weather, which all we were saying, and honestly, look, we were running, and I don't even care because I think it's funny. Like it probably was coming off as like, everything was bad yesterday, but I know my friends were trying to get in. It was a slow
Jesus Christ.
process of getting into the game.
Don't do it. Don't even. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Is that it for real? I'm asking you, Hardy. Is that it? That's the only thing?
I don't get aggregated very often, so I am thrilled.
Instead of grasping at straws and blaming the weather outside or the time of the game, Forsberg and Shin should have referenced the fact that the Celtics shot 25% on three-point attempts and 35% from the field in the game as the real reason for the Celtics' collapse.
It was a 35-minute podcast.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's quite a website over there, Awful Announcing. Well, you've been had, Chris.
By all means, Chris, worry about this.
I thought it was going to be like they screwed something up funny. Like they just said that the crowd sucked at the beginning of the game. The crowd sucked at the beginning of the game. Oh, Jesus Christ. That website is something else. All right. Well, Chris, you'll have to live with that. Well, good luck getting into the game tonight.
I don't know how I'm going to move forward. I'm going to have to really kind of get my mind right for tonight. I hope it's sunny today.
Well, listen, I hope this doesn't hurt your career. That's all I can say.
It might send it off the rails. I do appreciate all the extra views for the Celtics Talk podcast over the last 24 hours. I appreciate you Knicks fans.
No, listen. Well, the Knicks fans were there. They certainly were there. Spike Lee couldn't be bothered because he was at the Met Gala.
Ooh.
Big Knicks fan. Went to the Met Gala instead of going to the Knicks game.
Tonight, though, he'll have the orange
But he's a poser. Like, it's like Wick Grosbeck. Like, you don't own the team. Like big super fan over there couldn't be bothered. He had to go to the Met Gala. So for everything, if you have courtside seats tonight and Spike Lee's dancing around, I hate this because you won't do it and it's a Bill Simmons thing. But if Spike Lee starts dancing around the crowd, you just go, Met Gala, Met Gala. And that would be funny, but it won't happen. All right, Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you, friends. See you soon.
Right, there you go.
Right. See ya.
Boy, that's quite a hit piece. I mean, they really found him out.
It was written by Reese Shipley, who
it
was
also known as AI.
Staff writer for Comeback Media. He graduated from Ithaca College.
Oh, Ithaca College.
But he's a fan of all things Syracuse sports.
Of course. Because Ithaca sports
He's like me with Michigan State. Yeah, you go to a small school, you got to adopt a big one. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics and Knicks tonight at TD Garden in Game 2 of that second-round playoff series. Kristaps Porzingis is probable. Sam Hauser doubtful for the Green. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Celtics trail 1-0. Red Sox have lost 5 out of 6. They lost to Texas last night 6-1 at Fenway Park. There'll be no horse racing Triple Crown winner this year. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty is skipping the Preakness Stakes. Pittsburgh Steelers have traded wideout George Pickens in a 6th-round draft pick to Dallas today in exchange for 3rd and 5th-round selections. And in soccer news, the red-hot New England Revolution play Rhode Island FC in the round of 32 of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup this evening. We'll have it at 7:30 on our HD2 channel. Sports Hub headlines are proudly presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps or at 985sportshub.com. Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone. The 20-point lead. It's when the crowd was loud, they weren't very good. That's when the problem started.
Didn't have the same zest.
Yeah.
Again, Chris Forsberg was called out by awful announcing, who probably just found it on Twitter, someone else calling him out about it, for saying that it was rainy and that people didn't get there. That hot take was thoroughly exposed by awful announcing.
There was this.
Shoot from three in the second half?
I think over 50%.
So they made them?
Yes.
Man, what a novel idea.
But there's a lot of those where they're...
That's a novel concept, huh?
Right.
Just make them when you're open? Yeah.
Would you like to answer the question, though?
I just did. Make them. I mean,
I'm asking about your
I know,
defense.
and I'm not. I think I'm really just talking to you. I think it's such a cool duality of your question to where I'm getting asked on all the ones that we missed, and you come in and start with they shot 50% in the second half, and I'm like, oh man, the duality of that question is just really cool to like talk about.
Is he making fun of B-Rob, or is he making fun of his own team?
I thought he was making fun of his own team at first.
Or is perhaps he's so intelligent that we're just been thrown into a riddle wrapped in a mystery?
It's the duality of the question that he seems to be focusing in on.
He's making fun of B-Rob.
Is this a searching for Bobby Fischer thing? Is this a dork in the park in the Washington Square Park situation?
He was 6.
Yeah, big dork.
You know what I mean?
The kid's playing Dungeons and Dragons at 6. I mean, you know he's a dork. I have friends whose kids were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they're like, Jesus Christ.
This is a cool game like chess.
I don't think I think chess is a great game. Wu-Tang Clan love it, and they're cooler than me. But I'll tell you,
LeBron James loves it.
Play a lot of chess. Not in real life.
No.
That's when LeBron said he would be a great chess player. He plays it in his head. He's never actually played the game.
Actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind.
Right.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So, sorry.
Thanks.
All right.
We start the press conference off by saying, you took all these and you missed them, and then you say, they shot 50% in the second half from 3. Yeah, you got to make them.
I think he's making fun of his own team.
Its finest.
I think he's making fun of his own team. That's how I interpret it. I don't think he's making fun of Brian Robb, but that's my own interpretation. And that's what is great about Mazzulla is we can interpret it. There's so many ways to interpret his answers. He's so clever. Dan does not like me. Dan, go ahead.
Uh-oh.
Fred, first, I love you, but I'm just getting caught up from this morning because I listen on the pod. But dude, you can't be a victim when it comes to you missed an appointment. That's 100% on you.
Oh boy!
You should just move.
All right,
you should move back to Brookline. You would fit right in with the people in Brookline.
All right, Dan,
go
listen.
back. Just be a victim over there.
Okay, but Dan, I understand what you're saying, and maybe you're right, but you can't listen to the podcast and then call in 2 hours later on the show to refer to it. I thought you were saying I was acting like a victim because of awful announcing, and that I was going to
Oh no, Fred, I
funny
support you
retort
100% with those clowns.
All right.
I support you 100%
Dan,
with those clowns. I was talking about the
but Dan, can I tell you that someone reached out to Kendra from her dentist office, and they said they'd give me free dental care, and they're in Newton. So my bitching and complaining it's going to save me buco bucks, baby.
Why don't you just move to Canada and get everything for free?
I'm going to be like Rosie O'Donnell and move to Ireland because I can't stand it. All right, Dan, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. What do I know? Maybe I should. All right, thank you, Dan.
All right, man. Best of luck.
Were you annoyed when the guy showed up an hour later than he was supposed to yesterday at your house?
Not really, not that much.
You sounded like you were a little annoyed when you were telling me about it earlier.
No, I thought it was funny because he said, can we move the appointment earlier? And I said, yeah, and then he was an hour late.
Yeah. I mean, imagine how annoyed you'd be if he just didn't show up at all.
Okay, to go back to what happened, I got 2 seconds to tell this. I went to I was at a dental appointment at 11 o'clock yesterday morning. I missed it. And they called me, and the front desk lady said, "Who I know who it was," and she goes, "Because you know how I know? Because I spent about $20,000, no exaggeration, at that dental office over the last 15 years." And the lady goes to me, she goes, "You missed your appointment." And I said, "I know." "Oh, that's right. I'm so sorry. I did. I apologize." This is exactly how the conversation goes. I'm not remembering it wrong. She goes, "Yes, you missed it." And I go, "Again, I'm sorry." And she goes, "You missed too many appointments," and then hung up the phone. So I called the dental place, and I said, "Do you guys not want to see me anymore?" And someone picked up the phone, and they said, "Why?" I said, "Well, I missed my appointment today," and they said, "I missed too many appointments. Can I not see you anymore?" And then they were like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "The lady at the front desk, the old lady, she said that not to come in anymore. She just hung up on me." And they said, "Well, can you come in tomorrow at 11?" And I said, "Yeah. But now I'll come in today at 11 to honor my appointment. But after that, I'm going to go to this other place. It's free."
The time to honor your appointment is over. You effed that up.
No, but this is like a second chance. If I did it again, then that would just be malicious. If I did it deliberately, it'd be malicious.
How many times have you done a no-call, no-show on an appointment there?
Let's say, and I've had 30 appointments over the last 4 years. I would say I would go as high as 3, maybe 3 times. So it didn't seem like out of the blue. It seemed like she had been looking and said, "Well, you've missed 3 appointments in the last 3 years. This is your last straw." And if that was the case, I was going to have to accept it and walk away. But I won't be going. I'll go today, and then that will be that. And then I'm moving to this free dentist in Newton that Kendra's hooking me
I
up
think
with.
they're going to be happy to be rid of you. I think that old woman and I would probably get along.
Then you know what? It worked out great for everyone.
Yeah.
We're all happy. I don't have to pay for dental work anymore, and they don't have to deal with me. And they don't need my money, so who cares? They got my $20,000. They can go buy a used car now with all my money. All right, so we'll be back in just a moment.
world champion Boston team.
Tatum pulling it.
Hear every playoff game right here. Your home for Boston Celtics basketball. WBC FM and HD1 Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Celtics and New York Knicks had last night off, but they'll get back to work tonight at TD Garden. This is game 2 of their second-round playoff series. The Knicks, as you know, lead this best-of-7 1-game-to-none. Al Horford can't wait to play again.
I feel like our group, one of our strengths is as a group is that we're able to to learn from good and bad, and I know that we will be better moving forward.
Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Kristaps Porzingis is feeling better. He's been listed as probable for tonight. Sam Hauser is doubtful with a sprained ankle. Last night, Indiana did it again. They came back from down 7 with less than a minute to go. They won in Cleveland 120-119. They lead the Cavaliers 2-0. Tyrese Halliburton, the game-winning 3 with 1.1 seconds left. Out west, Golden State took game 1 in Minnesota 99-88. Lucas Giolito allowed 6 runs in 3 2/3 innings. Red Sox lost to Texas in the rain at Fenway Park last night 6-1. Red Sox a game under 500 now. The Dallas Cowboys have acquired wide receiver George Pickens in a 6th-round draft pick next year from Pittsburgh this morning. It's for a 3rd-round pick in 2026 and a 5th-rounder in 2027. And the New England Revolution visit Rhode Island FC tonight in the round of 32 of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. You can find that match on our HD2 channel at 7:30. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Get respect at Albrecht. Now 8 locations, including the all-new Subaru of Wakefield. Thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles, all at the right price at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Scoring in the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Is elongating?
Weekday morning.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Let's roll the dice.
The Sports Hub.
We interrupt this program for breaking news. I can't use it. Newsflash.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and you can watch us on YouTube. Just subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. But a lot of people have wanted us to cover this story. I've heard it covered in other places. I apologize for getting to it late. It's no one's fault, but we've had a lot to do. And I don't think it needs an introduction, I would imagine. You might have heard about this story already.
I'd be surprised if you hadn't heard about it by now.
Right. So here is the story that everyone's talking about.
Well, talk about a crappy situation.
Okay, this is the news now, by the way. This is how news is done. And I don't blame them, because this is how you make money. But, Walter Cronkite, who did the moon landing and I believe he was around for the Kennedy assassination. I'm not positive about that, but he was certainly around for the moon landing. And, he had every eye on him as he did the news. He was the voice of authority. America could trust him. And he never said, well, here's a crappy situation.
This next story stinks.
Yeah. Hey. We're going to our field correspondent in Vietnam. And then they come back and it's like, well, here's a crappy situation. Yes, the Viet Cong have come. They're live rounds coming overhead. All right. Well, thank you, Stan McGee. Now, to other news, a crappy situation in Berkeley.
Well, talk about a crappy situation in Delco. By now, you've seen the video. It's splattered everywhere.
Hey. Too graphic. Boo. Too graphic.
The video, that is. Police charging the woman, they say, defecated on another driver's car. It's always awkward when news anchors have to say the word defecating, but...
No, but crappy and splattered is fine.
That's what Edward R. Murrow and Marconi and everyone else had envisioned for the medium.
And by the way,
those are okay, but defecate, that's a bridge too far.
And by the way, this is like real news, too. This isn't, I just looked at a bunch of other people talking about things And now this is how much of your YouTube is just people talking about things that other people talked about something, much like we're doing here, but with no comedic value, like breaking down two people debating something else that's going on in the world. So they're like 8 parts removed from it and explaining the debate that you're watching to you. That's what YouTube is now. These guys got 2 million followers and they're breaking down a Joe Rogan interview, but he's interviewing someone who doesn't know what the hell what they're talking about. And then the person is analyzing the interview. You know, people do have to talk to the people involved in the situation. There is, like, for us to get any information, there does have to be someone, like, talking to the politician. Then you can analyze what you hear. But there has to be someone, like, covering what's going on. And then, like I don't want to hear you covering something. That I don't need. If you're going to do that, be funny. It's very frustrating. I mean, I don't like how this poo story's been covered. It's not. I mean, what about the victim? You know, everyone's with such glee with this woman treating her like the new Haktua girl. And I got news for you, honey. You ain't Haktua. Haktua is on an apology tour, by the way.
Well, that's it. Nothing to do with her original source of fame, but for the cryptocurrency.
No. Her brand is taking a hit, and she will recover. The Haktua girl will be back. Don't worry. Her podcast will be back. You'll have it.
Here we are tonight.
Police say it all started with a case of road rage that quickly escalated into a shocking scene.
The strange case has a lot of people asking a simple question. Why?
A strange case, to say the least, guys. In fact, so strange, many people thought this story was fake. But according to Prospect Park Police, the Delco Pooper is all too real.
I wonder if they have a monk that comes in to see if it's real. Like some disturbed but brilliant guy that comes in. I will analyze. Like that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they have the guy with the microscope and he's looking at who pooped the bed and he's going through the piece of crap. And they go, well, what do you see? And he goes, what do you mean? They go, well, you're a scientist. He goes, no, I don't work here. I just love poo. What yes, I'll take it from here. Oh, no, you brought in Crapper again. Yes, I am Crapper. Now, out of the way and let me do my thing. It's unconventional, but I get the job done. We'll see if this is real or another hoax. The Whammo Company makes some very, very convincing poo now. He comes in a smock. Oh, boy. They brought him in. All right, out of here, you jabronis. You haven't caught this person yet. Now, let me see the scene.
Let me get my telescoping pointer and probe the evidence.
Now, I have a female companion that works as my liaison, for I have trouble talking to the normal people. Can you please dumb it down for these fools?
And she's under arrest tonight. Can you tell us what happened?
The lady chased me. She chased me and I asked her not to attack me.
That is 44-year-old Christina Solometto being put into a Prospect Park police car. But you may know her by this, now viral video. Police say the Ridley Park mother...
Was she a clown? Is that what it sounds like when she takes a dump?
Have you seen the original video?
I have not.
Okay, yeah, just so you have some context here.
So the woman in the car is taping the woman who's mad at her. And she comes out, and then she is... she's in her underwear.
And right there.
Wow. Well, she needs to see a doctor. She needs a colonoscopy post-haste.
I can't wait to tell you the inside information on this woman, but go ahead.
All right, let's hear the story.
Police say the Ridley Park mother is the woman seen getting out of her car and, yes, defecating on the hood of the car of another woman.
I'll be the judge of that.
She's seen getting right back into her black Nissan we saw parked outside of her home tonight.
They were both headed in the same direction. They both lived not far from one another. The woman in the dark colored car thought the woman was following her, which was actually just going home.
I wonder if Nissan will use her as a brand ambassador now.
I was just thinking that, like somebody at a local Nissan dealer is watching that and said, yeah, Nissan.
All other cars
say it
are...
loud, say it proud.
Hey, I'm Cindy Magolis, and I crapped on a car. If it's not a Nissan, it's crap.
Now give me that. You promised me booze.
The incident happened Tuesday evening near the corner of 4th and Madison, a half a block away from a Little League field where...
Oh, no.
The Delco defecator video has left some neighbors speechless.
They always got to throw kids in, like the kids have been traumatized.
Yeah.
By the way, go to the Four Seasons by the park there, and you'll see someone taking a dump outside.
Right.
You got about a 1 in 4 chance of seeing someone take a dump.
I don't know. It's been running through my mind all day since I've heard about it.
Yes, well, this is an itch you'll have to scratch, my friend. I can give you the tools and the resources, the names and the numbers. It will be floating through your brain every time you need to get aroused.
It's another day in Delco. Solometto was booked on charges including indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, and a misdemeanor depositing waste on the highway.
Yeah, you'll get off. Don't worry. It's like a $50 fine. Big deal. Big whoop. You just make that part of your payment. You just factor that in. So it's going to be a $50 misdemeanor. So that's going to be it on the deal. So everything else, all the labor is on top of that. That's just the built-in fee, plus gas to get to the, plus postage to mail the check.
As she was getting arrested, Solometto says, I have a sickness. She didn't elaborate on the sickness.
It's diarrhea.
It's got diarrhea.
Yeah.
But the bizarre case has now gotten international attention. Not the kind this police chief wants.
It can't happen in this community. No town wants this to happen in their town. I mean,
yeah, square.
The recognition
L7
a town gets over this kind of thing, it's really unwelcome. We don't want this.
It's hard to believe,
Most expensive number 2 of her life.
Well, no. That goes to Claudette Washington from Omaha, Nebraska, circa 1982. Up for auction. That one, now that. Plus, I've heard of some Marilyn Monroe samples being
I'll first
traded.
give you the historical record, and then I'll give you the real story.
Exactly. All right.
So here's what you need to know about Ms. Salmetto. She is an OnlyFans entrepreneur.
Wow.
She sells pictures of her.
No.
Her waist?
No way.
Feet.
That's got to be a very crowded marketplace.
Yeah, now, sure.
Starting at a monthly fee of $7.99, police confirmed to people she has an OnlyFans account. She also has a Facebook profile where she has the last name SHYT Head. So whether she changed it afterward, but...
Or this is a brilliant marketing
This
ploy.
is a marketing thing. So if she's got an OnlyFans for her feet, and this is not an empirically attractive woman.
No.
Okay?
She claims she was called fat. I that wasn't in the story, but that is what I've heard when I've heard other people talk of this.
Yeah. So I would guess that she is also doing something on OnlyFans beyond feet. Because now she's changed her Facebook name to...
I'm like Pete
Cash
Townsend. I'll just have to investigate for my book.
Why?
I was just poking around for my book.
He was.
Can anyone, in all seriousness, tell me the appeal of OnlyFans? When pornography is free and like every video ever made of pornography is up, like no matter how nowadays, no matter how esoteric the subject matter or the star, I mean, you can just multiple videos. What is the appeal of OnlyFans? I really don't know.
Well, isn't that you get to make, and I don't use the platform, but isn't that you get to make a personal connection with the person? Like one of the things you can pay for is you can talk to them and message them, and you can get custom content made.
Well,
for
first of all, I would call into question that it's really. But even if we're living in a pretend world, why would I want to communicate with the person?
Well, you don't, but I think there obviously a lot of people do.
No, but I'm asking why. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, why would you want that? What's the appeal of that? Like, why wouldn't you just watch pornography? Like, why does it have to be like you're talking to the girl? Or why wouldn't you just go to a strip club? Or why wouldn't you just get a prostitute? Why does I don't understand. Like, you can get a prostitute. Why sit there and give a woman money to talk to you and take her clothes off and do sex stuff when you could be having sex with a woman for money?
Maybe it's this is just popping into my head now, but maybe some people think of what you just mentioned as sex work that has a stigma on it, whether it's working in pornography, working at a strip club, but just follow me for a second.
No, hang on. There's no shame in a strip club because it's what. But what's the difference between not of getting a prostitute and having them perform on you, or having someone perform for you specifically so you can please yourself? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's that layer in between that allows the user, if you will, to say, okay, well, this layer in between kind of protects me from the stigma.
I got to tell you that this of people not wanting to get laid in real life is a real boon to people that do.
I'll
I'll
talked about that before, like a generational almost.
Oh, yeah.
a younger generation just having less interest in sexual interaction, which I guess this plays into as well, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a fact, and it's a real boon for people. That's the correct term.
The Delco Pooper's OnlyFans page has this description. Hello, fans. Neen is what she goes by.
Yeah.
Neen here, and I would love to show you my pretty toes decorated with your favorite color nail polish, sometimes decorated in jewelry. Tiptoe with me, and you'll see. Come with my feet and toes on a fabulous journey beyond your wildest dreams. Now, she misspelled come with my feet and toes on a journey. I don't understand why she would misspell it.
It's not misspelled.
That doesn't make sense.
Then she adds, we'll take special requests. Don't be shy. Just ask. So credit to the Philadelphia Magazine, who reached out to her and said, hey, since you're, kind of known as the Delco Pooper now, would you be, given the events of your week, I was wondering if there was something you would get into, meaning scatological porn.
Mm-hmm.
She replied.
The first part, fine. I don't like it described in that way. Art.
Her reply was, you want me to blanking blank on you? I want $5,000 and I'm bringing a bodyguard.
Well, that would be different than OnlyFans. Then that would be prostitution
of the internet.
She also has an Amazon wish list.
I'm sure she does.
Which includes some high-heeled shoes, a foot massager, toe rings, and a callus remover.
And some wipes.
These are all things she's requesting on her Amazon wish list.
So she's like bespoked her wish list to just be feet stuff? Like, wouldn't you just ask for stuff that's not feet stuff? Like, you got all the feet stuff you could use. These just seem like business expenses. These are things you could write off. I mean, these are tax breaks. What are you doing? All right, so anyway, there you go. There's the pooper that everyone is going so crazy about. And this is where we are. All right, we'll be back. We will cover your gorgeous, generous emails, and we will have that for you in just a moment.
Zooms on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy, and we are available to be emailed. You can go to 985thesportshub.com and find our email addresses. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Toucher and Hardy, and there is a real swell at Fred Toucher going on right now. We are in the middle of almost a bring the boom type avalanche of followers right now, which is exciting. I've somehow hit the algorithm. I've got it really going on.
So you're over 30 now? Over 30 grand now?
It doesn't work like that. It's brick by brick.
Oh,
are the checks showing up yet? I mean, how
if I was to give them my bank account, according to the most recent numbers, well over $40 in Instagram income coming my way.
Wow.
So I can see how there's money to be made in this game. All right, this is from our good friend Timo. We read one from him quite often. It says, "Hey, Fred, I just wanted to point out one of the greatest recoveries on your show since you quit drinking. It was just masterful how you shifted from saying Native American to indigenous people when discussing the Brady Bunch in Hawaii. It was actually the Brady Bunch in the Grand Canyon. Adam 12 was mere seconds away from packing up his varied tote bags and leaving the studio. It is true. I have to defer to Adam. I asked him a question also in the lavatory about the proper term for something. Adam is an encyclopedia of knowledge of what you are to say now as to not offend.
I try to be. It's obviously everything's in motion.
Which is, well, yeah, I mean, it's difficult.
Might change tomorrow.
It's difficult even for Adam.
Yeah.
Who is on top of all of this.
But you know what's important, Fred, is your heart is always in the right place, and you're always looking to get it right, and that goes a long way.
I'm not looking to deliberately offend anyone.
Yes,
I'm really not. I'm not one of the people that has a problem with changing terminology. Like, I don't care.
And real talk today, that does make a difference because there's so many people that are trying to piss everybody off and are trying to be unkind.
But the thing is this, is that if you want to be called something, that's fine, but you have to educate me.
Right.
Like, if I make a mistake or if someone makes a mistake, you can't go nuts.
No.
Because it's really ignorance. And it's just because you don't know. So that's the thing, is that you got to give people a little runway.
If anything, you should be excited if someone's asking you questions, and if they screw up, they say, "Oh, did I get that right?" You know that.
But if someone screws up, and there is a tendency online to attack.
Yes, which I don't agree with.
Well, thank you, because it's counterproductive. When you attack like that, you get people defensive and angry.
Right.
When you just go, "Hey, that's not the term that's used now." Like I got news for you. They were saying the N-word on TV. Maybe if not in our lifetime. There was an episode of Happy Days since I've been alive.
Yeah.
Where Sticks, the only black character in the history of Happy Days, Fonzie tells this girl that he's hooked her up for a date for prom. There's two girls, and Fonzie's going with one of them. Sticks walks into Arnold's. He's black. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "This is your date," and she passes out from shock. That's the late 70s during my lifetime, and I still have kids in school. And that was in my lifetime. So things do shift. I mean, you're not making that now. I mean, there's stuff that was so things have to evolve, but the thing is, if you're one of the people that is pushing things around to evolve, you have to give people a little bit of runway.
Yes.
People aren't, and that's a big problem in society right now. It goes both ways. Like, some people are honestly trying, and then you start attacking and trying to get people fired all the time, and it gets at people's backs up, and then they get angry, and then that's counterproductive to what you want. And then you got angry people on one side, and you're angry about everything. Give people, I'm on your side pretty much, but you got to give us a little runway if we make a mistake. If I make a mistake on the air, that's genuinely just my own ignorance. Give me a break.
Okay.
I don't know why Item 12 didn't chime in with this, but it's about supporting small business, Fred. Now, what is this about? This is about OnlyFans.
Ah.
Do I want to support a major production company that's going to funnel my support into shooting the next round of almost family videos, which is almost the entire porn industry now seems to be surrounded about the that seems to be a hot topic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it so much. Or do I want to support the lady working on her farm who's going to be setting up her own shot on her tractor? Easy answer. That is from Jeremy.
Yeah, that's good. You can put the money right in the hands of the creators.
That's like Bandcamp of porn.
That's all I had to have said was OnlyFans is the Bandcamp of porn.
And that's all you have to say.
Ryan emailed in, what the hell is smudged all over the TV behind you? Obviously Zoe's fault, but that's gross.
Maybe it's from that when they throw the football around it.
Okay, so there are like
lower part of it, yeah.
Oh.
They don't need the TV for us because we made the decision to be off of television. And then when I saw the guys from NBC Sports Boston, and I said, hey, would you ever think about putting us on TV again? They were like, nah. And I'm like, okay,
It leads
thanks.
me to believe it wasn't all your decision. Like it may have been partially their decision too.
Who knows?
Yep.
But to my understanding, it was presented to me as if it was our decision.
Well,
but who knows? I to be honest with you could be right.
That's how all things were presented to you at that time.
Yeah, there was a lot going on that I didn't know.
We have to make Fred thinks this is his idea.
Sure, if that's the way you want to spin it. Yeah. It was my own. It was my own fault. Sure.
People are door dashing. Oh, this is from Walter. People are door dashing McDonald's. Where would they find the ambition to actually leave the house and engage a prostitute if they won't leave to eat? That's a good point. Laziness is at an all-time high when it comes to actually leaving the house and engaging in a simple thing like going to a drive-through to get food to eat.
But I will say this, if you're watching pornography multiple times a day, even as a young man, that's taking out your interest. You're not going to, then of course when you go out, you're not going to have as much interest in females because you'll have been satisfied. Your hormones and your instincts, like you're not going to be, when you're my age, you got to be very careful about when you consume pornography. It has to be very, very seldom and only in huge dry spells. That's the only time because you got to save it.
Yes, you can screw things up for not even later that day. Could be the next day.
Oh, no. You can't. The 24-hour window, you can't. Or there's no interest whatsoever.
There's a buzzer.
Now, I can.
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm just not going to enjoy it nearly as much.
Let's just say, because I know Thursday night is a big night for you. Generally.
Thursday night is generally a big night for me. Yeah.
Let's say 9 o'clock tonight. Would you?
No, absolutely, under no circumstances. Wednesday is a no fap day. That's.
So nothing at 9 o'clock tonight because there may be something going on at 8 o'clock tomorrow
Nothing
night?
during nap time. Nothing.
Wow.
No. And usually a 48-hour window is required.
Sure.
Now, again, I could right after, but I wouldn't enjoy it nearly as much.
Got it.
There's a good chance that if you enjoy it at all, the person that I'm with is going to enjoy it far more than I. Because
now, is
at
it all
a certain
about
point, it's going to just be a fruitless endeavor for me.
Now,
I can do it.
The refractory period,
but not the end part.
The refractory period doesn't just refer to the ability to maintain or
no, I can maintain.
Okay,
but it's the satisfaction. It's all me not being satisfied. Like there's no finale.
I understand. Hey, Sarah emailed in. We haven't had an email from Sarah since yesterday.
Hey.
On a school trip to Jamboree, USA, Wheeling, West Virginia in 1979, I saw Lynn Swann not only talk about how ballet made him a great receiver, he also performed a few moves. What is this in reference to? Were we talking about ballet?
Never.
No. But Lynn Swann did do ballet.
Yes.
And he was on Sesame Street talking about it, which
Yes.
might be the.
we
Sarah
sure?
might have seen that on Sesame Street as a
are we
child.
sure that this isn't? Yeah.
And then remembered him in person doing it.
And then she kind of brought it into her own.
Our school had this giant bird that was yellow, and she came and he or she came in with Lynn Swann one day and taught us ballet.
What was the song that we used to play on BCM? Was it The Bravery that talked about all the things in his life were really just things that he saw on TV? Never had a Cherry Valance of my own. Yeah.
Well, I'll bring the book up again. The Night of the Gun by David Carr, where he was a big drug addict in Minneapolis in his 20s and 30s. Then he quit drinking, and then he quit drinking and doing drugs. He was shooting cocaine, which is the worst of all of them. And he became this big writer for the New York Times. And they were like, hey, you should do an addiction memoir. And he's like, I don't want to do it. And he goes, okay, I'll do it, but I'm going to cover it like I do stuff for the New York Times. So he brought in another journalist, and they interviewed people on camera. They went through police records. They went through all his stuff. And it turns out he remembers everything wrong. It's 100 times worse than he remembers because as a survival tactic, we tend to remember things in a way that we can live with them. So like he thought he had these twins, and he thought right when he had them, he had this bottom moment like right away and then went away and then that was it. But it turns out he had the kids, and then a year later he went away. But in his mind, he can't think of himself being a coke addicted, shooting coke every day, leaving them in the car while he goes into drug dealers' houses. Sure. He can't come to grips with that. So he's created in his mind that he did it right away, but that didn't happen. And he comes and he finds out like some things are better than he remembers them, but most things are worse. He has full arrests he doesn't remember. He doesn't like it's fascinating how the memory works. Because you could ask, I mean it's an old thing, but you could ask two people to recall the same situation and neither of those, they could be complete opposites, but there'll be some truth in some of it. And they could be telling the truth.
Once you tell the story of something that happened to you, like even just a couple of times, what you're relying on is your memory of how you told it. And it's no longer your memory of the actual event. I'm just remembering how I tell the story.
And every time you tell a story, you're either making it less bad or you're making it funnier and a better story. And as you tell a story, you see people's reactions to it. You see subconsciously even what works.
Then you lose all the details.
And then you lose all the details of it. Because there's like stories of mine that I'm like from being a kid that I'm not positive happened. And if they happened in a way that is probably not very near the way I'm telling them.
Or you said it so much it happened to somebody else, but you think specifically, like remember when I fell and sprained my elbow? No, that when you run into a buddy of yours 30 years later. No, that actually happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's stuff like bad stuff, like getting guns pulled on me and stuff that I go, maybe I just made that up. And then the person that was there is like, no. That happened. It was worse. Yeah. Like that happens too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because you try to make something funny, and then it wasn't as funny as you made it out to be.
You adapted for the company that you're talking to at the time,
or you're just for yourself making it funny because it's better to tell a funny story than a harrowing story. And then that happened to me. I got a gun pulled on me in Atlanta, and then there was a girl I was with, and it's like a kind of a funny story in my mind. And then when I talked to the girl about it a couple years ago, and she's like, it was terrible. Like, it was very scary. And I'm like, I remember it. And she's like, no, that's not how it happened at all. It was a terribly, terribly frightening experience. But whatever in my mind, I turned it into something funny. And she's like, no, it wasn't funny. Now, we didn't do anything wrong. We're just walking up the stairs. But, what are you going to do? All right, so there you go. I've promoted that book enough in my lifetime. Between that and Running the Light, I mean, I can't promote those books. People often email and they say, they ask what I was talking about. So there you go. They ask Adam what he's playing because he picks the playlist. They ask me the books. They ask Hardy what contractor to use. And they use Wallach. When is the right time to come back north? All right.
I had two people email me yesterday asking, going to Vegas for the first time, wanting to know about the hotel trick. I said, you know what?
The sandwich. I've heard of that.
Get out of here with that.
So you know what? You can try it. It's a $20 bill is not going to do anything anymore.
Oh.
I said, and the one guy had the perfect attitude for it too. I told him, I said, look, if you want to try it, do it with a $50 bill minimum, and it may not work. And he said, I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to blow a bunch of money anyway. I said, exactly. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, that's going to be one of that
it's included in the budget. Yes,
exactly. That'll be just another 50, and you're lucky to only be blowing $50 at once.
Honestly,
because everywhere else, the $100 bills if you're going to Vegas, you treat them like 20s. It's like
That's
play
what I was
money.
going to say. If losing 100 like that does you a significant amount of damage, maybe you shouldn't be there.
Well, there's also the humiliation of the person just going, "What are you doing?" Which is
why I said the only thing I'll tell you, I said don't hide it, don't do anything for it. I said if you want to try it, just with your eye, and don't be like.
And then what am I
cool about it? Just say, here's my ID and my license, and this is for you. And you know what? That most times they'll just say thank you, and they'll take it. And if there is something they can do, they'll look.
Can I ask another dumb question?
Yeah.
Why do I want my room upgraded so badly?
If they can get you onto a higher floor or a bigger room, or
but why do I want that? If I'm an adult staying in my own room, what do I care what the room, what floor it's on, or how big it is?
Because
why would I pay for that? Like, why would I give $100 for that? The room's the room. I'm not going to be in my room.
Status, Fred. Girls like status.
And if you don't want to be next to the elevator, stuff like that.
Sure, I think they would
They
do
know
that
what
anyway.
the
You said, could you not put me next to the elevator?
Yeah,
I'm sure they'd go fine.
And that would probably work. I would say 9 times out of 10, just as well.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a ludicrous thing to do. That sounds like horse crap from the 1920s when you were trying to hitch a ride on a horse. Get into guy behind the counter at a hotel. Get out of here.
Now, do I still do it? Yes, because the moment I land in Vegas, I spend like a sailor on shore leave.
No, you can tip a lot of stuff to get perks. There's no question about it, but it's paying for it. Then you're just paying for it. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. And you'll be able to hear the Celtics tonight at 7 o'clock. Tip off. There are going to be a lot of Knicks fans there. I mean, there's just going to be a lot of Knicks fans. I don't know how that in any way makes you as a resident of the Boston metropolitan area
any less of a person. From my enjoyment, yes.
I don't understand how that makes you any less of a person. If secondary market tickets are super expensive and people can sell them for a lot of money and they cost a lot of money, then let them buy them. Who cares? What's it to you? You can watch it on TV. You can listen to it on the radio. You can sync it up. Grandy says the time of the game in the beginning, so you can sync it up, which I think is a good exercise. And that's twice in a row I've complimented Sean Grandy, which shows my how fair and balanced I am.
He says sync up in case you're syncing up at least twice a game.
Yeah.
Afterwards.
So that's 2 times. I like the way that he said that Max was out for his mother's 90th birthday. Right. I thought that was great. He didn't leave it up in the air as suspenseful, like Max was in trouble or somehow sick. And I like that he tells you to sync it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Sean.
Well, that's nice of you.
I love you, and I think you know that.
Well, I'm like Cedric. I won't say that back to you.
That guy in the morning show.
Yeah. Well, Sean, I've complimented you twice. Please, someone let him know.
James Corden has made multiple requests.
Oh, yes, multiple requests to be looking at boobs.
For an Instagram post calling him a tiny cretin to be taken.
I'm not skin and bones.
The best way to get people to stop making fun of you is to complain about it to the people.
A restaurant owner actually uploaded the comment section, and the post against him was made after Corden was accused of displaying rude behavior toward members of the staff.
It's
at
just
this restaurant in New York.
Yeah, there's a bit of sport and I know in London, in like that area, it's a bit of a hobby of people to whenever he goes out in public to make fun of him online, and like because I guess he's a total dick, and so now that's moving into the New York metropolitan area as well. I don't know how. It's almost a superpower of mine. That I guess really not, but usually I can tell when someone's being completely phony.
I'm a nice man.
Like completely phony. Like I sense that with James Corden right away. I do have that ability. I don't know how. Now it leads to a lot of problems because I'm not trusting anyone at any time.
Wait, James Corden has a wife?
It is shocking. I thought he moved back to England. He was at the Met Gala.
I thought he moved back.
Yeah, but he did move back to England.
Yeah.
He's there.
The Met Gala list is not overly impressive. Like, Stephon Diggs was there, and James Corden is there. Like, that's like a D-list party.
Andre 3000 wore a piano.
No, I understand that.
A lot of people go to that thing. It's not all that exclusive. I mean, there's a lot of people at that thing.
Yeah, like Joe Burrow's there, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? Like, and that's the pictures that people are sharing. Like, Andre 3000 is a cool guest, and he wears the piano, and that's kind of cool. I don't know why I don't know why I'm talking about it. But somehow it happens.
700 people.
Okay.
So it's
not exclusive.
No, you're going to, I mean, how many A-listers are there? 50, legitimately, maybe 100.
Somehow they've managed to throw a party that everyone talks about. So congratulations to that.
It's working.
The lady that does it wears big sunglasses, and she's rail thin.
And hot.
She's Dolce, of Dolce & Gabbana, I believe is the one who does it. I found out that information recently.
How about that?
All right, everyone, enjoy the Celtics game. If they lose, what a gift that would be. Tomorrow will be easy. We can complain. If they win, not as much. If they dominate, then we're going to have to move into other territories. We'll have to find other topics to discuss. And that's the reality of the biz, baby. But enjoy the game. Enjoy the rest of the day. That'll do it for us. I'm off to the dentist. Bye.
Talk to you tomorrow. Toucher and Hardy.